Launch start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo.
Hello?
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
Hello. Hey everybody, happy Monday. Welcome to the start of another week where it is currently... Jesus, it's currently hot as balls. Yes, you join us here from, wait till you hear this, 25 degrees. What? It was, no, shag off. I'm very red. I got scalded. Look, Jesus, that's right. It'll tan in a couple of days, I'm sure. Oh, Jay, I got scalded. But anyway, you're all very welcome aboard. Yes, it was 29 degrees here today. I was out doing my work in the shed and the things, and I've multiple owies. I'll show you this one. Look, I nearly lost the entire arm. Do you see the damage on me not so little finger? Look, nearly lost the whole thing. And I've panda eyes. Look, no. But listen, that's not important. What is important, friends? Tonight we carry on with From Earth to the Moon.
Jesus.
Right, and we're going to be starting off here in Dallas, Fort Worth. We're going to ramble down to Ellington in Houston, Texas. We're going to learn all about mission control. From there, we're going to jump into a T-38 and fly the Bajani out of it as we go to places and to see what it can do. You see, lads, with mission control, the whole thing is fascinating because we've learned about the origins of how we started this entire kind of space race thing. You know, go back to Werner von Braun and, you know, you had the Germans and the V2 rockets and all the jazz. Then we moved on and we learned about, well, astronauts, the training, selection, the secrecy. From there, it was over to the machinery. How do we figure this one out from the Saturn V all the way to the various other gadgets that were built, including that of the LEM, the different stages of the flight as well. Then we moved on and we had a look at the global support, and that was last week. We visited Parkes Observatory in New South Wales in Australia, and we learned all about how the network behind communications was a massive task, and well, NASA managed to do it. Tonight, it's all about mission control. How do they actually, you know, plan and operate the mission? Yes, you had your astronauts doing the flight, but they were supported by, well, hundreds of other staff during the mission sequencing. So we're going to learn a little bit about that this evening. Right, there's going to be loads of learning. We're on the ground here at Fort Worth. We're going to be blasting off shortly in the Phenom 300E. The FSR 300E, that is. Great machine. Beautiful machine. And we're on live weather and live time, and it's absolutely freaking nuts because there's thunder. Live weather, lads. It's giving it all sorts, right? But anyway, that's what we're getting up to tonight. So I'd like to welcome you all in. If you commemorate the day in question, it is that of Memorial Day. So sending my best wishes out to anyone who, you know, uses this as a day to reflect. As Scott said it there, a memorable Memorial Day. So thoughts are with each and every one of you who marked the event. And yeah, I've been flat out. So I was you last saw me on Saturday. Well, you saw me this morning, but you last saw me on Saturday up at Gamerfest. That was a bit of crack. And I wasn't messing the amount of costumes and stuff. Jesus then. So hung around with Rob for a while. And thank you also very much for joining us on the live stream. And we're going to start doing more of these kind of hardware, software kind of thinkings. It's a great opportunity if you're having issues with your PC, particularly your PC. If you're having issues, we're going to try and capture a couple of questions that we can send over to Rob, and then he might come and join us every couple of weeks or something like that, maybe once every 2 months, with all your questions, and then how he will, you know, maybe there's advice there he can help out with, or some settings. So I thought that was very helpful on Saturday. Then after Saturday, rambled up, grabbed a hold of the young Gibbo Ireland fella, and we went off looking at sheds. A very productive day, and I was right. Janie then, they're very expensive though, right? The one in question we went in, it was set up like a bar. Beautiful, but it was 30,000 euros. I was like, I was trying to justify this in my own head. Yeah, she won't, like, you know, divorce me or throw me out, not at all. But anyway, so ideas for the future, perhaps, right? Apart from that, then Sunday was a day out, hence the colour. Sunday was a day out, and that was celebrating the turning of age. Oh, Jesus, halfway to 82, lads, and got back it was 7 or so last night, fit for bed, and that's pretty much all that happened. Then this morning got up at stupid o'clock this morning, at about 5:25, and loads. Painted the shed. We got a robot lawnmower. That's what the missus got me. His name is Charlie. We used to have a gardener in Baldonnell, in Casement Aerodrome, a gardener called Charlie, lovely man. And Charlie was the man when it came to gardening, because you'd learn from him, you see. So I called me lawnmower Charlie, because, well, it's just out there working all the time, do you know. So, yeah, painted the shed, ran a cable through me ducting outside. It now goes into a little boxine thingy, put a hole in the shed, ran another cable, and now we've electricity in the shed and Charlie's house. Brilliant. I've been telling you now, lads, there's no room left on the man card. It's been stamped to the bejesus out of it. Yeah, right. So that's what I got up to today. And now I'm very kind of, you know, roasted, because when I came in here today, I had all the doors closed. There was nothing on. I said, keep this room cold. I have big blinds, or not blinds, they're curtains, big curtains there behind me. Kept the room closed. I came in here, it was 19 degrees. I said, perfect. It's now 26 degrees. And it's rising. I should have been a weatherman, you know, rising fast. Wait, rising terribly fast, you know. So it's going to get warm, and I haven't managed to dig out the aircon unit. That was a rookie mistake. So we'll have to see how we get on, do you know. But it's very, you know, you can see it from the right, very warm. But tomorrow, wait to hear this. They're giving Tipperary 29 degrees tomorrow. What? We don't have thermostats to go up that high. Madness. So I hope you're all enjoying the lovely weather wherever you are. And if it is lovely, right, and plenty of sun cream, and stay out of the sun. Stay indoors. It's far safer. Yeah, right. But anyway, so you're all welcome in. That's you caught up. You're caught up. Do you know? Had dreams of these shagging sheds and everything, and Jesus. Yeah, right. I blame Gibbo. Entirely blame Gibbo. But anyway, who's here? Look, Mrs. TPHI, first in, best dressed, who rolls in upside down saying, hello, Murph and Fireflies. Good evening, Mrs. TPHI. Hope you're well. CP65 is here. Good day to you. One Foxy Bingo Gav has rambled in. Good to see you, Gav. You're looking well. Hang on, we've tunage. Here we go. Gav, hope all is well. Super Typhon is in the house. Sup? APU Inspector, happy Monday. Flipper Alloy is here. Good evening. Bricky Stew. Evening. Hope all is well. My dude. Vacuum is in the house. Happy Monday. Mech Manser is here. Fierce Wolf. Looking fierce. Gent Wolfie. Welcome in. Classified. Welcome aboard. The Boise is here. Chris Van Halen, welcome in. North Coast Mike is here. And happy Memorial Day. Flipper Alloy. Absolutely. Nutty Taff is here. Good evening. Commander Snow is in the house. Liptorius, a very happy Monday. Malky Mac. Be Janie then. Tier 1 for 15 months. Thank you very, very much indeed, Malky. Insane support this month. Absolutely mad. Thank you all very, very much indeed. Malky, fair play to you, buddy. Retriever Neil is here. Happy Monday. It is hot. Heisenberg has rambled into the chat. Good to see you, buddy. Happy Monday. Now, let me see. Febro is here. Greetings from a hot Netherlands. Ooh, the Netherlands are hot. How hot is it in the Netherlands today? It's pretty much all of Europe roasting, isn't it? Eamon 1973. Happy bank holiday for those in the UK. Our bank holiday is on next Monday. Monday coming. We decided to wait a few days just to make sure, you know, until the good weather has gone. Then we'll have our bank holiday. The Irish, we're miles ahead, lads, you know. But anyway, the Dameranian, welcome aboard. Hope all is well. Canoe Head 2. So pleased to be in this perpetual place of positivity. Good evening, and AJH. Welcome in, buddy. Commander Balosh is here. Happy Monday. Cyrus T, the man of teal. Welcome in, buddy. Cyrus, what happens if you mix teal with sunburn? What colour would that make? Idle Cutoff is here. Cambridge calling. Hot as balls. It is hot as balls. Oh, Jesus. Right, we'll keep an eye on that thermometer. Bloody hell, I can feel it getting warm now. It could be the lights. You know. Shuffle Shoes shuffles in. AJH, hope all as well. Spitfire, RAF 100. It's a hot one today. Indeed, it is, but you're very welcome in. Andy 11 is here. Good evening. Hope you're well. Alton's in the house. Daddy Plump, good evening. Creo. Creo. Hope you're enjoying that weather in County Mayo. I say it's only lovely. So you're very welcome in. Home Wrecker is here. Happy Monday. And it is roasting in Cork as well. There's Gibbo. Good to see you, man. Very happy Monday. Gibbo, what did you get up to today? Did you do much? You know, did you get sunburned? From all the work. Right, the Impossible Face is here. He got me flights in Tees order at the weekend. Tis only class like. Oh yeah, wait till you start wearing that gear to the disco. Telling you now, you won't be able to keep them off you. You won't keep them off you. Hayden UK is here. Good evening to you, sir. Happy Monday. Now let me see. Captain Cocktail, tier 3 for 21 months. Thank you very, very much indeed, Captain Cocktail. We're closer to your normal weather in Las Vegas, right? Closer. It's a different kind of heat here, though. I remember when I was in Vegas, everyone's, it's a very dry heat. Yes, very dry heat. And it is a dry heat. Your lips, to be shagged at the end of the day, they just dry up, right? Ireland, however, doesn't do dry. We don't know what dry is, right? So we do a very hot and sweaty kind of a setup for heat. Don't know what, my contribution, right? Brilliant. Now, let me see. Lucky Bo is here. Good evening. Jesus, now Murph. Fat Rat CSB, very good evening. Old Veteran 965, he says, howdy all. Happy Monday and hopefully a memorable Memorial Day for those who observe it. Scott, I hope you're well, buddy. Super Ty has 12 degrees Celsius and lots of rain. But you had this weather last week, Super Ty, didn't you? Sunjammer is here. Failure is not an option. Work the problem, people. Brilliant, right? Apollo 13 stuff. Drumma is here. Good to see you, buddy. Happy Monday. Petrolhead, good evening, chaps. Energizer walks in the door with a 31-month Prime subscription. He says, Jesus, 31 months of this fella. Me lady will be asking questions about where the money is going. Well, I mean, education. Yeah. It's a professional course for further education or adult learning. Yeah, that's what we'll call it, Energizer. Thank you very much indeed, buddy. Nighthawk is here. Good evening. Taking the Starship. Ooh, nice. The Impossible Face. The weather is only mad in Dallas. Absolutely mad. Sunjammer said, Murph, if you think this is hot, try 32.6 degrees down the road. Jesus. That's Spanish weather. Now, how do I get the flight plan to download into SimBrief? Just do a new one in SimBrief. I'll show you here now. Let's have a look here now. Buttons need to be pressed. Flying Tonight is here. Tier 1 for 17 months. He says, hello. I hear it's cooler on the surface of the sun than it is in the man cave. Accurate reading. Accurate reading. Flying Tonight, thank you very much indeed for 17 months, buddy. Hope you're well. In a Boxman, welcome in. 25 degrees. It's 30 here. Oh, Jesus, Iris. 32 at Nutty Taff. Jesus. 3.5 tone Murphy. Yes. Brilliant. Multi-tone, isn't it terrible? Yeah, the heat dome reached you Europeans. It's mad, isn't it? Another Murphy hand injury. Nearly lost the whole arm, you know, from the upper dorsimus and the lower, right. The whole thing, lads. A panda with small hands. 29 degrees today. Was overheated with the cadets out in dress uniform. Ouch. Yes. Fort Worth or Dallas? Love. Fort Worth. That's where we are at the moment. And that's our departure. Now, let me see. Chris is here. Good evening. Zybok Doc calling from Denmark. Hello from Tipperary. What's the weather doing in Denmark? Now, let me see. Button's here now. Mr. Moo! Good to see you, Mr. Moo. If I say your name, it'll sound terrible, like as you intended it, of course, you know. Right. Jersey Devil, afternoonist. Good evening. Good afternoon. Hope you're well. Let me see. CP, welcome in, buddy. I'm always having issues. Cyrus says, I fixed my PC turning itself off every time you open Microsoft Flight Sim. I am a genius. Wait, what? I fixed my PC turning itself off every time you open the sim. What happened? Tell me more. Can you give me a 5090? Well, you can. You just need to exchange it for, cash. But yes, you can. Right? Gibbo says, Murph wanted to buy one that was only 120 grand. Oh, come here. Jesus, you want to... It was a house. It wasn't actually a house. It was a log cabin house. Thanks, Gibbo. Yeah, the missus is in the chat. Welcome in, Mrs. Two-Tone. Stomach in, chest out, shoulders back. You know the drill. She's all here now, lads. And also, we need to, Musafan, unfortunately, can't be with us this evening because he's out in his fields walking around with his shirt off, chasing the cows. Be that as it may, he's no electricity either. That's probably the main reason why he's not here. It is the reason. He's no electricity. But never let the truth get in the way of a good rumour, Brilliant. But yes, right, where's his buttons now? He needs a large shed to move all his stuff to. No, the shed isn't even big enough. Matches the small hands. Oh, God. Sumner is here. God bless all our veterans indeed. Naples calling. Good evening. Hope all is well. Where is this now? I thought your man card was removed. Not at all. All is well. Told you to get the sunblock out. I'm telling you, the sun... I got scalded. The rest of me is all completely white. It's terrible. Ah, Jesus. Uniform Goose is here. Welcome in, Goose. Good to see you, bud. Happy belated birthday. Not at all. Not at all. It happens every year. Every year. Right, Pieman Jim, good to see you, buddy. Murph, lads, after your suggestions the other day, I've just gone and picked up the Baron Bonanza bundle. Happy days. Great machines. Great machines. Now, let me see. Thank you, Briggsy. You're very kind. Richie's in the house. Welcome in. Still busy with going through the FSR chat. Yeah, it's been an amazing release, the aircraft for Raoul. Amazing. Dougal McTavish, the chairman, has rambled in. Happy Monday, Dougal. Hope you're well. Enjoying the weather by staying indoors, like myself. Except for that one time I had to go out. Oh, Jesus. Right. But you're very welcome in, buddy. Bellbro is here. Good evening. Now, an Oblong Life, welcome in. Get the expensive shed. Just call it a she shed and give it to the missus. That could actually kind of work, but no, she'd kill me first. Right, Flyer10, good evening. Imaginatus, welcome in. 10 in a row, buddy. Thank you very much indeed. Now, Gio, welcome in. 27 now in Thailand. Tomorrow, 35. Jesus, really? And what's the humidity like? Willow, how much is in the house? He says it's flipping hot. 'Tis terribly flipping hot. But it's grand. Chuck is here, good evening. I'll have the house and he can have the shed. No, don't be putting ideas in her head. No, listen, right. I mean, I blame Gibbo as well. He said, look, there's loads of different reasons here now, Murph. I mean, she'd have her space. Your loudness would leave. She'd be very happy to make sure that you weren't as loud. And I said, well, no, I am a bit loud, Sometimes she has to put on the noise-cancelling headphones because I'm in here. But 30 grand, though. Like, forget, it's a new car. Well, a fancy car. You're right. So, no, it's not going to happen anytime soon. Unless, of course, we win the lottery. Or, indeed, the person who makes... No, there's no check and refunds. Unless, of course, the person who makes them says, hey, this will work great. I'll give you one for free. And then I'll wake up wondering how I got there. Mugan is here, good evening. 31 degrees in the Netherlands, says Freebro. Jesus. Mugan, hope you're well, buddy. 32 degrees in Birmingham today. No way. Linny Bobbins is here, good evening. 'Tis yourself and her man Stamp. Yes. Miles ahead. You should have the bank holiday last week then. No, Jesus, no. Don't be minding that at all. Technicality, Bell, bro. Listen to what I say, but don't actually listen to what I say. I mean, you can hear me, but don't listen. Everything makes way more sense if you do it that way. Right? Yeah, I can hear Murph, yeah. But don't listen, right? Photos by Kev. Reformatted my PC this morning to clean off all the crap I gathered over the last year, but I still can't get the Kodiak to load in. Really? No way. Kozaki Flyer, good evening. Hope you're well. Viper Strike is in the house. Welcome aboard. 27 degrees in the man cave. Jesus, Lewis, 27 degrees. If it goes to 30 degrees, there's a good chance I'll pass out. Right, now, Kev, I don't know. Drop me a DM, sure, we'll try and get it sorted together. Right? I mean, a man of your expertise and my sheer and utter stubbornness, I'm sure we can get that thing to work. Do you know? But yes, Memphis Ton is here. 40 months, buddy. Thank you very, very much indeed. And Jesus, what a ledge. Gibbo had the day off. Right? Pool, beer, and barbecue today. And a few caps. Pool, beer, barbecue. From the man who took the day off. I don't have a pool. I ran out of beer, and me barbecue that I was so looking forward to having. I even bought burgers and sausages and everything. Shagging thing is a rust bucket. It's completely shagged. The barbecue at Murph's Manor, shagged. So now I need to get a barbecue. Right. So it's added to the list of things, you know, that I'll get, along with the shed. But anyway, Gibbo, I hope you had a great day, buddy. Now, let me see. Wolfhard is here. Good to see you. Chris says, we loving the Ireland weather today. You're in Dublin. Oh, nice. Colin Mater, welcome in. Law Dog is in the house. Enjoying the Phenom. Dude, it's so good. It's so good. Eddie Games is here. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you very much indeed. Welcome in. Devil Fly is here from Southern California. Welcome in. I have a very small shed for garden stuff. Nothing for me, sigh. I am saving up some money for things at Expo. I am sure that I am going to see things that I cannot live without. Yes, you can. Like the magic beans and stuff that we'll buy. It's going to be brilliant, Scott. Brilliant. Now, Vinyl Rabbit is here. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Murph, can you get some dry ice for us? Jeez, that'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Oh, it's hot in Denmark as well, is it? Gave a Toby eye tracker to his son. He borrowed it for X-Plane 12. Now it's shagged. Oh, no. Jesus. Care 85 is here for 36 months, 3 years, my dude. Thank you very, very much indeed. Hope you're well, buddy. It's really a long story, Murph, but it was some errors in the registry causing my PC to turn off. I found it through the event viewer. Jesus, Iris. Colonel Fork 85 bursts into the room with a command that shows something terribly not respectable at all. Colonel Fork, it's good to see you, buddy. Happy Monday. Now, let me see. Can always buy a doll's house for the garden. No problem with small hands. Ah, Jesus. Thanks, Retriever Neil. We hope that the birthday does come every year. Bad if it doesn't. Oh, very bad. A Scary Wolf is in the chat. I met a Scary Wolf on Saturday. You're very welcome in. It's hot as balls outside, like I said it was going to be. Hope you're well, buddy. Now, let me see. Homewrecker says, hurry up. I'm getting hockeyed out of it waiting on the runway with Thunder. Yeah, it'd be grand. Band of Brothers, good evening. Keane Lafford is here. Tier 1, 54 months of making Murph read everything. Balls. Thanks, Keane. The balls. Thank you very much. Can you video Mr. Two-Tone killing you? Yes, of course. Sure. That regular occurrence. I often mess up. I tried going outside today, but there was a giant fireball in the sky that scared me. I ran back into the house. Yes. Now, think of all the amazing space you'd have in that room, Mr. Two-Tone. Come on, Gibbo. Oh, Gibbo. The problem. The real problem. 30,000 euros. Like, I mean, you know, I could be busking in Temple Bar or something, right? Or I could do stand-up at that place at night, you know. But it's Jesus then, you know. Flight Simulator 2025 is here. Good to see you, buddy. Doing a flight from Leeds to Innsbruck. Ooh, nice. You could rent it out. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Rent it, yeah. Who's this? This is Geppetto. He lives here now. Huh? I've been making beer can lids in 31 degrees all day. Wait, what? Beer can lids. I love it. Now, let me see. 11XZ is in the house. Hello from Russia. Very good day to you. Good evening. You're welcome in. Now, let me see. Between us, we'll rule the world, says Kev. Yes, we will, Kev. I mean, who says we don't already? Yeah, right. Now, let me see. There's buttons. My twins have birthdays today. Young man and woman, 25 years, says Ibok. Nice, buddy, nice. We had to buy a new barbecue this year, says Linny. Linny, can I have your old one? It can't be as badly shagged as mine currently is, you know. At least I got a tan. I do get a bit of a tan, yeah. Yeah, no, it is looking, you know, outdoorsy and everything. It's actually great, because usually by the time I get to like an expo or anything in public, it's like, do you go outside at all? I'm like, yeah. You know, right. Doesn't, you know. But anyway, now, you are supposed to take care of the barbecue. You keep it covered when not using it. Listen, Scott, it rains feckin' from the ground up in Ireland. You can't keep the things right here. It rains upwards. Yeah, right. Now, the Colonel Indiana Longnuts has entered the chat. Good evening. Don Waldy's here. Welcome in. Jesus, lads, it's very busy. We'll go flying now in a second. Titans of Road is here. Good to see you. I was going to the barbecue last night with some burgers, but the rain, however, kept me. Oh, Jesus. Two dogs, good to see you. You got your katana and phaser rifle. Ooh, nice. Was that a Wait, hang on, the phaser. It was a Romulan something. It was Romulan, wasn't it? Tell me it was Romulan. Now, you could be Batman. I am Batman. I could be. Just got into me lounge poolside with a birthday pint and cigar. Sumner, is it your birthday? Ladies and gentlemen, can we wish Sumner a very happy birthday? The man is in his pool with a cigar and a pint. Don't drop either of them. You'll ruin the pint. Right. Happy birthday, buddy. Sell the house, buy a shed. Sold the house. No, we're not. No. Too much work has gone into this. Sell the Skoda. That's a tenner towards. Shag off, will you? The Skoda's a great car. Wait, what's all the hatred of the Skoda? The nicest car in the world ever built. Until I buy something else. But the Skoda's great. Bloody hell, 27 still. Lads, I'm not going to lie to you. It's shocking warm. People can see cities from space, but not Murphy's hands from just 10 feet away. Ara Viper, come on out of that. Would you not try harder, will you? I mean, come on. I know what you were trying to get at. But anyway, Gar Gaming is here. Hello to all in County Galway. I've just started playing this. Started on career mode. Nice, buddy. Yeah, career mode's great. It's a great way to learn the sim and other aircraft. It's pretty cool. Lindy says, my old one was a fire pit with a tripod. It's missing a leg. Still better than the cut of the one I have. Romulan Disruptor. Yeah, I think that's the one, Colonel Fork. Wolf is here. Over here in South Africa, we make our own barbecues with half-metal barrels. Oh, handy. We don't have half-metal barrels here. Federation Type 3 Mark 1. And the Mark 2 had a larger sight in it. Ah, right. Now, let me see. Happy Baby Day. Thank you, Homewrecker. Wait, no, not to me, to Sumner. Yes. Right. Now, we're catching up. Nutty Taff says, 2 birds, 1 stone. Get a new shed and keep the barbecue in it. Was it a Klingon disruptor? I don't know. Anyway, Sumner, happy birthday, buddy. And hope you have a great day. Who else is here now before we go? Andy Sim, good evening. He's melting. JP Gaming's in the house. Law Dog is here. Colonel Indiana is over there. Good to see you, buddy. Steve is in the house. Mike Coffey, good evening. Rich Gillen is here. Behind the gap. Now, who else? Flea Bob, good to see you, buddy. It is rather hot, Flea Bob. Rather hot, indeed. JB Alberta, you're very welcome in. It's a balmy 26 degrees in central Alberta, eh? 26 only. Flyboy Dyer, good evening. Kieran Niall is in the house. Welcome in. Now, let me see. Will is here. Yo, I'm the old ketchup. Remember me? Welcome aboard. VDM is in the house. Greetings from South Africa. Good to see you, Brew. You're very welcome in. Right, now we're getting up there. Tarbitness, welcome in. Good evening. Alston, thank you very much. And to Sumner as well. Getting up to 32 degrees tomorrow in Vienna. Lads, it's as hot as bejesus. Mr. TPHI is here. Good to see you. P.S. Mirandai. Hello there. Good evening, good evening. If I missed anyone now, blame Muse fan because he's not here to defend himself. Right, now. Buttons, lads, buttons. Now, we'll press some buttons. Oh, Jesus. Oh, that was very tight. Now, if I turn up the sound, listen to it. Thunder. And lightning with other things, right? Look to see the lightning. Jesus. So here we are with our machine. The door closed. Why did the door close? Did the wind blow it? Jesus, there's aircraft all around us. Fantastic. Right, we're going to get ourselves set up here, right? It's still May, which is crazy. Yeah, dude, it's awesome. But listen, it's I love the sun. Regardless of what my skin says, I do love the sun. I love the warm weather. Now, let me see. So this, friends, is also a groupie flight with Say Intentions. You're more than welcome to join us. 'Tis free. You just need the app So you can get the app from a 24-hour free trial, or indeed if you have Say Intentions, which I always recommend because it's only brilliant. I wonder what they use that as their slogan. You know, Say Intentions, it's only brilliant. I could be onto something there. But anyway, our flight plan is here, or at least the full flight plan of what we're doing. Fort Worth, direct down to Ellington, direct out over that place, Galveston, and then out to San Antonio. Right? Copyright the slogan, then sell it. Right? London City coming out. Yeah, Retriever Neil. Looks deadly, doesn't it? Looks deadly. So we got a couple of participants. We've got more than 4, I think. I'll give this a quick refresh. Let me see. I'll be 5. Okay, well, sure, look. Jump in when you're ready. Now, the next little thing I want to do, I'm gonna file a little sim brief plan. Because we can horse this into the aircraft. So we are going to fly from Dallas down to down past Houston, and the route it's going to give, I'm going to pop this in the chat so you can see it, and you should be able to see then what it is we're doing. But we're still going to the same destinations and all the jazz. 98 Vulcan, good to see you. Hope you're well. So what we're going to do, we're going to open up some Navigraph. Bing. It's appeared here on another screen. And what else do you want to do? We'll turn this guy on. Create a group, load a plan, continue. And we're in. Right, you come down here. Easy does it. And Navigraph. So I'm just going to have a quick look at this based on SimBrief. We're going to import this one from SimBrief, dial it in, and we're going to have a quick look. So we are going from Fort Worth down to Ellington, and if we have a quick look then at what altitude we're going to use, final step is going to be flight level 370. We're going to be miles over these thunderstorms, right? Galveston, home of the BB Texas, in the shipyard getting repaired at the moment. It's the last floating dreadnought. No way. 7 miles up, indeed it is. So, let me see, Nighthawk, do you want that on Discord? Hang on, I'll stick it into, I will pop it into the pilot ops and live stream flight plans, and I'll at you. There, buddy. That should sort you there now, fairly lively. Right, so that's all grand here. We're going to come back and move this guy across. Departure today is off runway 17 right. We're right beside that. We're up here at the, well, it says American Eagle, but according to the actual chart, this is where the corporate aviation ramp is. So that's where we're starting from, all right? So 17 right, it's just there. So we're going to plan to fly straight out. It's an hour and a half departure. And then we're pretty much all the way down into Ellington. It should be fun with the weather, I think. So, with that said, aircraft is up and running. Let's do the thing. So we're doing an IFR. Like, you don't have to. We can do direct too if you want. I just said I'll throw this one in because there's interesting weather there. Do you know what I mean? So we're going to go into our flight plan, import from SimBrief. Easy now. Don't crash sim. Right. That's looking good. We're going to go into our ground ops weight and balance. That should have loaded in. Yes, it has. How is it loaded in? Oh, I think we're going to get an LCTD, lads. It ain't like in life down here, I can tell you. I'm getting 100% on my CPU. Jesus, then we're starting off flying. We'll see what happens. Right, so flight plan. Because I want to check out SimBrief stuff. Go. Doosh. So we're waiting balance for this one, right? Block fuel is 966. 966. Now, that's kilograms. So block fuel, 966. That's accurate. Okay, so it's doing this. Cargo, 150. It did that. Packs, very light packs, but we'll take that. Okay, we're good there. All right. Load instantly. In you go. And that's sorted. Cabin comfort, don't worry about that. Maintenance should all be okay. And then we have our realism. All right, so let me see. Ground ops, we're going to remove the pitot covers, the chocks, engine covers, and also the landing gear pins. We're going to ramble down here. IFE turned on. And then we'll go through our starter procedure. Battery 1, battery 2 coming on. Also get our pneumatics on. GPU power coming in, and we'll also go ahead and put on our hydraulics. Fuel pumps go to auto, and we can go ahead and ping the cabin. That's the first job done. Screens are coming alive, and while we're sitting here, we can go ahead and get that door closed. Thank you. All right, so we're on the GPU, and now we should start getting ourselves set up. Emergency lights go to armed, cockpit or cabin control, lovely. And we'll get some exterior lights on here as well. This is going to be interesting with the weather. The PC is saying it's too hot. No, temperatures are okay. 70 degrees or so, but that's fine. It was just the load. Something weird. Anyway, we continue on. We want to get these screens set up. So we need to go off and set up the aircraft. But before we do that, aircraft systems are going to go status. And over here, we're going to go aircraft systems. We're going to go ECS. It's not too bad, but it's very hot in the cabin. We'll leave the AC off for the moment. Shag them, they'll be all right. Okay, so we need to go ahead and initialize our flight. Utilities, we're going to go into initialization. Voice recorder, we're going to go ahead and do a quick test. That's now doing the thing with the stuff with the thing. And that'll all be programmed in for us.
Pause system test. Okay.
Okay, so it's doing TOS, and then we do traffic. And we see how we're going to get on here with the rest of the aircraft. While we're waiting, we can go ahead and reset the barrow. We can go ahead and... a squawk, we'll worry about the squawk machine now in a moment. TOS is doing its thing. I wonder what it...
System test. Okay.
Grand. We'll do a traffic test now. And it's all about just setting up our cabin. Traffic is coming in, so we can see the systems going through from the Garmin G3000. Next page then, we're going to have a look. So we need to set the data. Outside air temperature is 29 degrees. We're going to send that into the FedEx system so it knows what we're dealing with. Also, you're going to be very careful with regards to the wind and the direction of the wind. So what I'd say, lads, once you're ready to move, sure, head on and start moving. Data accepted. Now we go in and we'll go flight plan. So let me see. We should have been able to load this in. That's interesting. We'll try it again. Re-import. There we go. Runway 17, so we can put our procedures in. Our departure is an ORNAV, and it is the... it is the ORNAV Ardea 7. Departure ORNAV Ardea 7. Ardea 7. And that's going to be to Elver. And we're blasting off runway 17 right. Load. Lovely. Come down the hill. Runway 4 is what it's given us below in Ellington. Which we could do, but there's going to be a bit of vectoring from that. So, okay, that's all grand. We're going to go procedure. We're going to do our approach. No, we're going to go in and do our arrival. It's an ORNAV runway 04. So it's the Kids 5. There we go. And that's coming in by Elver. Runway 4. Load. And then our approach... We don't really have many options. We will plan an approach runway 4. So we have an ORNAV GPS. And it's going to be vectors. Because there's no direct link. So we're going to say load that as well. Now VNAV we can put in. So let me see. VMS speed, VNAV required. Climb. This is all our power settings, cruise and descent. That's all fine. Flight plan options. We'll get into that in a moment. Show on map. Yes. Map settings. That's all fine. And that's all done. We're going to accept this initialization. And I think we're kind of looking good. Yes, we are. Right, next step is going to be that of an engine startup. So we're going to go down to the right-hand side, flick run. Quick look around. Engine systems, ignition is set to auto. 2 seconds on our starter switch. 1, 2.
On the pilot frequency.
Roger. Ignition. Watch your ITT. N1 is rising.
This is my Rexer in the Learjet.
Alright, we're getting a good start. Nice. Alright, that's a good start. Generators is not liking. Turn them on, Murphy.
I'll copy 49er Papa.
Okay, engine 1 coming up. We're going to disconnect that electrical unit.
Cheers, mate.
We go to ground ops, disconnect the GPU and remove. And we'll go ahead and fire up engine 1 for 2 seconds. Right hand side increases. as it brings the power into engine 1. Now, One Fly Air, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Scots is here, welcome in. Bike handles as yokes. So the design wasn't just for Embraer. I mean, Concorde had it too, right? Alright, we're looking good. Good start on both engines. Start switches are good. Electrical system is good. Flaps. Do you know, we didn't do our speeds. Landing field via the FMS. Weight and balance. Fob sync. Okay. Weather. Load. Runway. Takeoff configuration. Flaps to at Lou. And takeoff data. Accept. Load in. All on. And now we're good. Right. So, we can play around with this a little bit now. So let me see. I like this here with the map. So on this guy here, we can go charts. That'll do us. This guy here, I'm going to keep it on aircraft systems just so I can see what's happening. All right. So flaps 2. And they're all good. I want to turn these guys on. Auto. ECS to both. And the rest is looking good. So taxi light coming on. And our squawk machine needs to be set. So we'll go down here. We'll put in something makey uppy. 6411. Enter. And our squawk can go on to altitude reporting. Excellent choice. Right, friends, off the brakes. And let's see what happens. Fort Worth traffic. November 235 Romeo Mike taxiing from the business jet ramp. We're going to be taxiing on Juliet for runway 17 right. Traffic. Right. We're looking good. Put you there. And let's ease our way in. This is such a good airplane, isn't it? Chases that lighting. This is such a great machine. Okay, now. Oh, do you know what I could have done? And I didn't set it up. I got what we can do from here. I got the wind control stuff working. So let's see, altitude. There we go. Okay, left on Juliet. So what did we say our final time was? 37, was it? 37, lads, all the way up. All the way up. The Starship, we're going to fly that soon. I do miss that airplane. It's a great machine, the Starship. Alright, flight controls, full forward, full back, full left, full right. And we're looking good. Let me see, configuration. Trim.
No takeoff. Trim.
Okay, let's bring our trim back the road to about 10. .6. Try it again.
Takeoff okay.
Takeoff okay. Right, we're on Juliet. Then we're going to hang a right, then we're going to blast off. Alright. Let's see how the outperformance of the sim is this evening. So we're taxiing here in Juliet. It's going to be a right turn, and that's runway 17 right. That's our departure. Ornav departure. It's kind of straight on out, you know. Flight director is coming on. Alrighty then. 570, 570, that's all correct. Let's see what happens. Favourite aircraft you've been flying over the last couple of days, lads? What have you been flying the most? Legion of Unholy Bacon. That is probably the best name I've seen. You're very welcome in. This is Innie Bill's Dallas Fort Worth. It is absolutely savage. It's massive, this airport. It's actually ridiculous how big the thing is, but it's really cool. Man, look at that weather over there, look. Sounds Roman. Yeah, yeah. Though I fly through the valley of death, I shall fear no evil, for I am 80,000 feet and climbing. That's the way to do it. Longitude. Ooh. Kodiak. Ooh, Ox is flying the Lancer. I need to practice on that now. I'm going to be having a look at that on Wednesday. And traffic, November 235 Romeo Mike. We're going to be taking off runway 17 right, Ornav departure on the Ardea 7. Traffic. It's up there with It is keen. It is. Phenom still learning. It's so good. A321, A330, the Fuga. Flying the 105. Nice. Gav is having a mare getting it started. I'm having a mare trying to get lined up on the Shagan runway. I'm doing plenty of Caravan Officer Firefly Air on air. Oh, dude, we'll catch up with that soon. Thanks, Malky. Baby Phenom for now. Lots of real thunder going on around here. It's nuts, isn't it? 105 today, Mr. TPHI. Sweet. Alrighty then, sports fans. So we're going to go heading select. We can horse in a V-speed. We will bring this guy up. We'll climb like an absolute mad lad.
17.
2,000 feet a minute. FMS mode engaged.
3,100 feet.
Right, roll to a stop because I just like giving this thing full thunder and then we're off. Power coming in. Engine stable. Toga. All the sounds. Airspeed live. 60 knots. Oh, heck yeah. The sounds. Yep, see Daisy. Pause, they're ready to climb. Gear up, epic flyby. It's so hot right now. Right, watch her climb, you muppet. Easy now. Flaps coming in. Straight into the storm, telling you. You've just lost your power mains. Oh no, Dougal, you're joking. I thought I got a CTD just now. Could you imagine? Daring Daz, is the Phenom the best private jet? Yes. It just is. Alright, flaps in. Yaw damper engage. I've lost my... Don't crash sim. Right, figure out what is actually happening here. V-speed. In.
Flight director.
Flight director's okay. Okay, she's climbing. Speed is coming up. Why is my CPU screaming at me? Come over here now, we have a look. What's using up all me stuff? Huh. Nothing jumping out at me. Climb is good. Bit of rain here from the thunder, look. Jesus, what's your speed? Hugh Janus, that was another... Balls! That was another good one. Yeah. So Muse caused a power fault and people in need. Yeah. Blame Muse. He broke everything. Ah, Jesus, young fella. Did you not put some cream on? You may fill the bath with sun cream. Jesus. When was the last time you cleaned the vents? Oh, the other day, Cyrus. I don't have a temperature problem. I seem to have a load problem. So like 75, 80 degrees, that's absolutely fine on this rig, right? And the GPU is sitting around 65. So like that's very comfortable. CPU utilization is fine now. It's sitting at around 50 to 70%, but every now and again she spikes to 100. Like now, that's gone up to 100. And I don't know what's causing it. There's something running there in the background upsetting me life. Very strange, isn't it? Very strange. Right, watch your speed, Murphy. We're absolutely booting and we shouldn't be. Let's see. Last night on Brett Play's stream, there was a few of us having some major issues with our CPU and GPUs. Must be something on the server side, which is putting some major strain on certain systems. Yeah, like, interesting. Just a multiplayer thing? I would say so, yes. I would say this is a multiplayer thing. You know the way the lads are always breaking things? The old Microsoft Flight Sim servers. Great bunch of lads. I just said I'd resettle say intentions. Just in case. Alright, climb out is nice. Coming up over 10,000 feet. Lights off. And we're going to be clearing these clouds here now in a moment. Fantastic stuff. It's always a network issue, yeah. Captain Kenobi! Good to see you, bud. Right, lads. So what we're going to do, if you're currently flying along with us, if you're on the Xbox or PlayStation, it's number 1. If you're on the PC, press number 2. If you're using Groupie from Say Intentions, it's number 3. And if you're also feeling hot as balls, well, it's number 4, and be Janie then. Hello, Fireflies. Welcome to the Flying Circus. We live stream Monday to Friday, 1900 Zulu time, right here. Man, it looks good. It looks good. Man, that lightning. All right. So we got 25 in the PC, 1 on console, 210 people, hot as the Lee Roadie, plus a Murph. Thank you, Keen. Yeah, strange is going on with the multiplayer servers. Don't worry though, it's on my list of things to not complain about, but to go absolutely spastic. Ah! Do you know? Kanzu is here, good to see you. Right now, you're on the shower. Wait, what? 29 degrees. Telling you. Murph, did you put any sun cream on your head? No, I was wearing my hat. Look, I'm scalded, look. I got proper scalded. Anna Kanzui. VR Flight Sim, guys. Dave, good to see you. Happy bank holiday. It's too hot for VR, but perfect for watching a Murph live stream at a beer. I'm not jealous. I've no beer. Ah, no. Wait, no, I don't. I've no beer. Balls. VR Flight Sim, guys. It's good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well and enjoying the weather. Our bank holiday is next week. That's how we plan, you know. The old Irish will wait till next week. Anyway, the good news is we're flying. It's doing well. Hello, dear. Yes.
He's eating all the carbonara.
He's eating the rest of the carbonara. All the carbonara. Do you see the sunburn?
Yes.
Bait the head of him, will you?
Huh?
Bait the head of him.
You're no there.
Yeah, but it's expected. You know I'm an idiot. Now that, sir, is planning. Wait, what happened? Hey, Hawk Driver, good to see you, bud. Welcome in. Right. For scientific information gathering, you are a croc wearer. Yes, I am. I have my crocs right here. Sometimes that's all I wear. Now let's get a good, long, hard look at that there now. That there now is, well, I mean, it is the most superior of footwear. Superior. After the missus if she needs something from Texas. Mrs. Two-Tone, do you need something from Texas? If you say a cowboy, you can shag off. Jared is here, good evening. Mrs. TPHI, say nothing. Sure glad there's no smell-o-vision. What are you talking about? They're amazing. They smell like They smell like freedom. That's what they smell like, right? Freedom! They were made by William Wallace. They're fantastic. If the TV had smell, we'd be switching it off. No, we're okay. We haven't got to the stage of rot. 28 degrees. 28 degrees. Do you use your Crocs in sport mode? Yes, sometimes I'll put them into a ATV, all-terrain vehicle, you know. But at the moment, no, we're going grand. Right, we're cruising. Audio is completely and utterly shagged, so we'll just turn down the audio. Still 12 degrees is super tight. It's Janie. Now, a bit of reading to do, so get ready for this now. Mission Control. Houston. Triumph, failure, and the end of an era. The mission structures. Right. So, Mission Control Houston didn't really kind of come together until Apollo. I mean, there was parts of it there, but in terms of like mission start to finish, when you looked at what they ran over at the Cape versus what was handed over back at Houston, you know, what started off the entirety of this was the Mercury project, or Project Mercury. That was America's first human spaceflight program, and it aimed to put a human into Earth orbit and learn how astronauts cope with the space environment. All 6 crewed Mercury missions were flown between 1961 and 1963. Early flights used suborbital Redstone boosters. Later, Mercury Atlas flights orbited the Earth. And the Mercury Control Center at Cape Canaveral monitored trajectories, fuel consumption, and the astronauts' vital signs. In 1965, NASA moved the facility to Houston, and they renamed it Mission Control. It became heart of the Gemini, but it's actually within NASA, it's pronounced Gemini. There's one you didn't probably know, right? And of course the Apollo missions as well. A lot of people will say Gemini, and that is how it was spelled, but NASA confirmed to say, no, we call it Gemini. The Gemini projects. That's what it was called in-house. So if you want to sound like you're a total space nerd, it is the Gemini project, or Project Gemini. But anyway, we'll have a quick look at Project Mercury because, well, the first astronauts they brought into the field, of course, they were known as the Mercury 7. These famous astronauts, you see. And, well, the information behind it, right? In particular, the Mercury space capsule was produced by McDonnell Aircraft, right? And we know later on, McDonnell Aircraft, whatever happened to the McDonnell Aircraft Corporation? You can see how all this is linked in, you see. McDonnell Aircraft Corporation was an American aerospace manufacturer that was based in St. Louis, Missouri. The company was founded on the 6th of July 1939 by James Smith McDonnell and was best known for its military fighters, including the F-4 Phantom, and of course crewed spacecraft, including the Mercury capsule and also Gemini's capsule. McDonnell Aircraft later merged with the Douglas Aircraft Company to form McDonnell Douglas. Now, McDonnell Douglas, and they went off to make absolutely mad aircraft, the McDonnell Douglas, right? Down the road here. Well, we can do it now, searching it here. Wow, me PC is screaming. What the? Now, let me see. McDonnell Douglas, some of the aircraft these guys made, of course. I'm getting like 100% ping on me thing. F-15s, MD-80, right? The MD-11, the 45 Goshawk, and so on. So McDonnell Douglas, so we know the crack, huge manufacturer at the time. So during all of this, the Mercury space capsule, that's what it's built from. The Mercury flights were launched from Cape Canaveral Air Force Station in Florida on launch vehicles modified from the Redstone and Atlas D missiles. The capsule was fitted with a launch escape rocket to carry it safely away from the launch vehicle in case of a failure. And this is fascinating stuff. When I was learning a lot about all the different flights and things, the input from pilots, test pilots, later then the astronauts, this is where they turn around and say, do you know, we need this in the craft. Because the engineers wouldn't have thought about it. They needed the impact and the perspective from the pilot. You see, Just Roy is here. Good evening, and thank you very much indeed. 26 months, Roy. You're an absolute gentleman. Hope you're well, buddy. Hope you're well. Krabby One, good to see you. Sprockets is here, welcome aboard. Mighty Road King, good evening. Hope you're well, lads, and thank you so very much indeed for joining us. So, Project Mercury officially approved on the 7th of October 1958 and publicly announced on December 17th. Originally called Project Astronaut, President Dwight Eisenhower felt that it gave too much attention to the pilot. Instead, the name Mercury was chosen from classical mythology, which had already lent names to rockets like the Greek Atlas and the Roman Jupiter for the SM-65 and PGM missiles. It absorbed military projects with the same aim, such as the Air Force Man in Space Soonest. Right? Absolute mad stuff. Now, if we were to say, well, look at what were the biggest and loudest things of, the Mercury? Well, John Glenn. Right, first American in space, of course, and he named his rocket the Friendship 7, and we freed him then as well, right? So we touched a bit on the Mercury flights, but that's what it was all about. So Mercury came first, right? What's your speed here now? We're still climbing. So that was the first one. Next up then, we had Project Gemini. That was between 1965 and 1966, and it was the bridge between Mercury and Apollo. This two-astronaut spacecraft tested orbital rendezvous and docking, long-duration missions up to 14 days, and even extravehicular activity. Gemini flights were more complex, requiring real-time decision-making and handoffs between global tracking stations. Because the Mercury Control Center lacked the capacity to handle multi-day missions and multiple spacecraft, NASA built the new Mission Control Center in Houston's Manned Spacecraft Center. From Gemini 4 onwards, the Houston Center served as the nerve center for the American human space flight. The Dame Iranian, thank you very much indeed for 10 months. Cheers, buddy. Your AC is running well, you divil. So, Project Gemini... There's something just freaking out my CPU. I don't know what it is. It could be the sim. But anyway, Project Gemini. It was the second United States human spaceflight program to fly. You see, Jason does buttons here. Just right. Thank you very much. Alerts are coming in slow. I don't know. Why is that now? Thank you very much indeed, Roy. There's the alerts coming in now. Gemini's objective was the development of space travel techniques to support the Apollo mission to land astronauts on the moon. In doing so, it allowed the United States to catch up and overcome the lead in human spaceflight, the capability with the Soviet Union. By demonstrating mission endurance up to just under 14 days, longer than the 8 days required for a round trip to the moon. Methods of performing extravehicular activity, or EVA, without tiring, and also the orbital maneuvers necessary to achieve rendezvous and docking with other spacecraft. All Gemini flights were launched from Launch Complex 19 at Cape Kennedy Air Force Station in Florida, and the launch vehicle was the Titan II GLV. That was a modified intercontinental ballistic missile. Gemini was the first program to use the newly built Mission Control Center at Houston at the Manned Spacecraft Center for flight control. Now, pronunciation. The constellation for which the project was named is, of course, Gemini. However, inside NASA, Public Affairs Office issued a statement in 1965 declaring Gemini the official pronunciation, and it kind of came from kind of Gus Grissom neck of the woods. You see. So Gemini, that's where they got the name from, right? Pretty interesting. And then, of course, we have Apollo. Project Apollo was designed to land humans on the moon and return them safely to the Earth. It used a 3-man spacecraft and a huge 3-stage Saturn V rocket capable of sending nearly 50 tons toward lunar distance. The Apollo program inherited Gemini-era mission control procedures, but it expanded on them to handle lunar distances and much more complex mission phases. The Houston Center added larger backroom teams, real-time simulation, and a network of global tracking stations, which we learned about last week, to manage communication and telemetry. From Apollo 7, the first crewed Apollo flight, through to Apollo 17, every mission was controlled from Houston's Mission Control Center, later named the Christopher C. Kraft Jr., with Cape Canaveral serving mainly as the launch site. You see? So, we have the Apollo mission phases. What was it all about? What was happening? What were the different phases of this entire mission? An Apollo mission followed a carefully choreographed sequence. Launched used the Saturn V to loft the spacecraft into Earth orbit. Parking orbit allowed the crew and controllers to check out systems before the third stage fired again for trans-lunar injection, accelerating the spacecraft from about 10.8 kilometers a second and aiming it towards the moon. Soon after the burn, the command and service module separated, turned around, and docked with the lunar module, housed in the third stage, and together they travelled to the moon. On the trans-lunar coast, the flight path was refined with small correction burns. At the moon, the command service module and the landing module combination fired its engine to enter lunar orbit. 2 astronauts transferred into the lunar module, it undocked, and then performed a powered descent to the lunar surface. Meanwhile, the command module pilot continued to orbit the moon, and after surface activities, the lunar module ascent stage lifted off and rendezvoused with the command module. The LEM was then jettisoned, and the command service module's main engine fired for trans-Earth injection, and during the return, the crew performed mid-course corrections, jettisoned the service module, and oriented the command module for re-entry. The heat shield protected the capsule as it slammed into Earth's atmosphere, and parachutes slowed it for splashdown, usually in the Pacific, where Navy ships recovered crew and spacecraft. Ooh. So, a link over to Apollo, which is over on NASA's website, and there's some class information in NASA. Right, so the goals of Apollo. The national effort that enabled astronaut Neil Armstrong to speak the words as he stepped onto the lunar surface fulfilled a dream as old as humanity. Project Apollo's goals went beyond landing Americans on the moon and returning them safely to the Earth. They also included establishing the technology to meet other national interests in space, achieving preeminence in space for the United States, carrying out a program of scientific exploration, and developing human capability to work in the lunar environment. The rocket and spacecraft, as we know, the Saturn V rockets. Apollo was a 3-part spacecraft, which we had the command module, the service module, and so on, right? And then we have all the Apollo missions. Now, Apollo 1, tragedy struck on the launch pad with Apollo 1. It killed the 3 astronauts. There was a fire. Now, the fire, unfortunately, was put down to... The training that they were doing was relatively run-of-the-mill stuff. Right? It wasn't like they were doing anything mad. They were actually parked on the launch pad going through communication stuff, but they wanted to simulate a very high pressure environment beyond the capability of, well, a lot of the equipment on board. It was a mistake, an accident. And it was, they kind of put it down to high pressurization. It became extremely flammable, and combustion happened, and they were saying Velcro ignited, and it was just a terrible mess, and there was no way to open the door. Anyway, that was Apollo 1. Apollo 4 launched the uncrewed Apollo 4 mission. They made Apollo 5, Apollo 6, Apollo 7, the first crewed mission, right? Apollo 8, with Frank Borman, James Lovell, and William Anders, made the first crewed mission to the vicinity of the moon in 1968. This is kind of similar to what was just done with Artemis 2. Artemis 2 is kind of retracing the steps of Apollo 8 and Apollo 9. Right? Apollo 10 was pretty much the entirety of the dress rehearsal. Apollo 11, as we all know, when Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins made history. Apollo 12, the second lunar landing, Apollo 12, where we had P. Conrad, Rich Gordon, and Alan Bean. The mission itself on launch, almost a disaster. Lightning struck the rocket on blastoff. It got hit by lightning, and mission control lost all sensory data. They lost everything. They were going to abort the mission. And then someone somewhere figured out, wait, hang on, we've seen this before, press this button, fixed everything. Madness, right? Apollo 13, probably every bit as fresh in our mind as Apollo 11, thanks to the movie. Apollo 13, there was an explosion on board, forcing the spacecraft to circle the moon without landing, and the idea was to get the astronauts safely back to the Earth. It became a rescue or survival mission, and that's where we had the incredible movie, SCS to Ox. Yes, or SCE to Ox. That's it, Malky. That's exactly it. But yeah, it's Apollo 13. It's right there with us, man. And that's what we think about all the time. With Tom Hanks, Ed Harris, an amazing cast, Kevin Bacon, just an amazing movie. Some of it was a little bit dramatized. You know, I mean, it's to an extent, but it's still very, very good. I mean, I've watched tons of documentaries from Jim Lovell, Gene Kranz. His books are upstairs. The missus read them. Very, very interesting stuff. Apollo 14, that was the third lunar landing. Apollo 15, they brought up the lunar rover vehicle, or roving vehicle as it was called. Apollo 16 was John Young, Charles Duke and Ken Mattingly. Ken Mattingly, of course, you remember the name. Ken Mattingly was scheduled to fly on Apollo 13, but it was said he was going to get the measles. He never got them. He went on Apollo 16. And then the final mission, Apollo 17, Eugene Cernan, Harrison Schmitt collected a record amount of lunar samples over 3 moon walks. Then it ended. After Apollo 17, that was the end of it. Now, what's very interesting about all of this, from, mission control, they had, yes, the headache of controlling everything, managing resources. They had to monitor all the systems. They had to monitor all the communications. And they all had various different stations inside of that room. Most mission control, or ops as we call it now, well, they're based on the same things. It's funny how it even filters down. Even from a military perspective, it filters down. You have your various departments, your various department heads. Those departments have backup support behind them. In Houston, they were literally in another office. You have 10 or 15 guys, or even teams of 40 guys working on one simple thing. Could be guidance, could be communications, could be medical, all of these different departments, right? And then you'd have the main controllers in there as well. So that was the first phase, or the different phases. Then we had the landing sequence. Apollo 11 was the culmination of the decade-long space race, launched on the 16th of July 1969, and the spacecraft entered lunar orbit, and Armstrong and Aldrin boarded the lunar module Eagle, that was the name of it, for descent. During the final approach, computer alarms and boulder-strewn terrain forced Armstrong to take manual control and guide the craft to a safe landing in the Sea of Tranquility. At 02:56 UTC on the 21st of July, Armstrong stepped on the lunar surface, delivering the words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." Aldrin joined him shortly later. But what's interesting here is, during all these different stages of flight, and even during the descent, because of the terrain, because of all these rocks, Armstrong said, "I can't land here. There's too much going on." So he decided to move and find somewhere way more, soft and like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not soft. Flat terrain, effectively. That's what he wanted. Somewhere with flat terrain. It burnt extra fuel, right? And the alarms that they were getting, there was alarms coming up on the screen. And I remember, we'll learn about Gene Kranz here in a moment. I remember reading about Gene Kranz. Suitable, that'll do. Thanks, Colonel Fork. Gene Kranz, and when you see him, you know exactly who it is. He was telling me, or he wasn't telling me, he was given this perspective that during one of the similar or simulated missions that they did, they used to do all simulated missions as well, he made the wrong call, right? And you need 2 reasons. They said you have to have 2 reasons if you want to abort. So you needed, like, okay, we're aborting because of this and this. You always needed 2 reasons. Anyway, he aborted a simulated mission because there was only one, but he thought it was serious enough that he could have aborted. And he learned the lesson. It was a hard lesson, he said, but he needed 2 reasons. And Gene Kranz, there was other mission controllers there as well, but I think Gene has an awful lot of there's an awful lot of respect for him. He said to all the operators, mission control, his job was to gel them all together, get them to be their absolute best, get them fully confident, teamwork, all of that kind of stuff. That's what he had to do. And by doing so, he sent them off to learn every little bit of every little system, learn it inside and out. And he gave the operators that sense of responsibility, right? But the way he said it was, listen, you'll make the call, I'll back you. If you're telling me this is the way to go, I will give you my backing. Just make sure it's the right way to go, right? And that's how we learned it. So when it came to Apollo 11, and Gene Kranz was the flight director during the landing, during the ascent, right? Or the descent, they were getting all these alarm codes coming up from the LEM. 1202s, 1201s, 1206s. What the hell is all of this? The guys are like, what the hell is this? We don't know what this is. Think about it now. We have a problem. We control F and we find, hey, what's this? Or we look at a service bug. Modern computers. Back then, forget about it. Engineers who wrote the systems, they might be able to tell you. But because of the operators that Gene instilled this into, they knew what the solution was. One of the guys was like 1201 or whatever number was. I think it was 1201 or 1206, whatever it was. But one of the operators said, hey, I've seen this before. Wait, it's okay. Listen, hey, I've seen this in a simulator. We're still okay. Huh? I'm telling you, we're okay. All right, we're okay. And they were okay. So it came down to him empowering the team. These are the best of the best anyway. They knew that, right? They're in mission control. But these are like the smartest brains you can get. But they needed that confidence and they needed that leadership. And that's what makes the whole Gene Kranz story phenomenally interesting. Because he's just a guy, you know. But I thought that was extremely insightful, learning about Gene Kranz. But it opened the door to what went on at Mission Control. Because they had teams and they had shifts and they would rotate them. You see, and in this new building where they had all the latest and greatest technologies, I mean, NASA, to this day, we say, this is like NASA, right? It's at the cutting edge of capability and technology and all this kind of stuff when it comes to monitoring, communication, all of that, right? Fascinating. So, when it came to the Apollo mission and during that critical descent phase where Armstrong said, not a hope I can land here, can't land here, he then went off and flew the craft manually. He actually said he flew it like a helicopter. That was right? And by doing so, that was now burning fuel. And during that touchdown, you can get two different audio perspectives. You can get it from what was heard in the craft, or you can get it from Mission Control, and they lob them in together. And you have Gene Kranz saying, no more chatter. The last or the only communication from this point forward will be fuel. Because Armstrong had enough to be doing. Himself and Buzz. Armstrong was flying. Buzz was watching his trajectory and his rate of descent and all the jazz. And then NASA were like, this guy's dealing with enough. We'll just advise him on the fuel. And one of the guys in Mission Control who was looking after whatever department had a stopwatch. And he knew, I'll put a line on this. If the time gets to here, that's when we're out of fuel. So he started a timer. He knew roughly once it's at this level, this is exactly how long of flight that engine will last for. Fuel burn and all this kind of stuff. They knew it. So he's now watching it. And then during that descent, you can hear 60 seconds of fuel. Then we got a 30, right? And I think he shut down the engine. He shut down the engine, I think, with 25 seconds of fuel left. Otherwise, it was an abort. Hit the abort button, and that would have launched the thingy module back up. The LEM, if you like, the landing craft, that had just dropped. They would have ejected out through the top in that part of the spacecraft. An abort, right? Fascinating stuff. So the landing sequence, when it all came to it, and when you think about all the teams looking after the space flight, the descent, and I have to descend here now, then you also had the communication. We learned that last week, right? Jesus, look, we need to talk to Honeysuckle, right? They're up. Parks is now up. Grand, connect into them. All of this was happening. Then you had medical, the surgeon. What's going on here? Then you had Capcom. He was the guy who was able to talk to the astronauts. He was trained as an astronaut because he knew the jargon. Right? If someone said to you, or if you tried to explain something aviation based, as in flight simmers, we talk aviation quite a bit. If we were to mention aviation things like V-speeds to the uninitiated, they wouldn't have a shagging clue what we're talking about. Did you set your V-speeds? What? Right? And it was the very same. So they had an astronaut who was trained to relay the communication from Mission Control, the flight team, to the astronauts. And this was something else that Gene figured out, because, hang on a second, some of the astronauts weren't very reliant on the mission control lads. As far as they were concerned, they're just the scientists. We're the guys doing the mission. And I think it was Gus Grissom. He said he changed the layout completely. Gus made sure, and I think, I could be wrong, I think it's Gus. Anyway, this guy made sure that whatever POH the astronauts had to match the POH that the flight directors had, that mission control had. Because prior to that, they were all different ones. Imagine. Oh, we're going to do this. And then Mr. Crow, what's he doing? We don't know how to do that. Or worse, you'd have the lads at mission control saying, do this. And the lads are like, what are we doing here? Maybe it wasn't Gus. Could have been someone else. I need to figure out who it was. But fascinating stuff. Absolutely fascinating. Now, we need to do a very tactical friggin' descent here now, because we're going to end up in, Cuba. So, that was the Apollo 11 side. Next up, when we land, we take back off again. We're going to learn more about Apollo 13. So we know the success of landing on the moon and what it meant, right? And even during Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo, right? Cab, Delta, Phi. Oh, Jesus. There's a good chance to be passing. Let's not worry about them right now. Right. Any lights coming on. And we need to descend here rather, at a rate of knots. So let me see. Heading select. Drop the old heading there now, Jemima. And we're going to V-speed it down. There we go. Call it 2,500 feet a minute. And autopilot back on. Heading select. And left turn. Right, let's not panic. We're going to start descending down towards Houston, right? I'm planning runway 04. Yeah, not like me to... sorry, I got completely carried away talking. But yeah, so when we land, our next bit of stuff, we're going to start talking about Apollo 13. Then I have Gene Kranz to talk about, or Kranz. We'll talk about the other Apollo missions, why Apollo ended, right? So there are our next 3 topics we need to cover. So... It's fascinating stuff. I remember reading as well, they were saying that the requirement from the scientists, we need samples of this, we need the astronauts to do that, that was immense pressure, because whilst the guys at Mission Control knew that the lads had to complete all these assignments, right, they knew that it was extremely hard on the astronauts. And even when Buzz and Armstrong landed on the moon, they were supposed to have a much longer sleep schedule, but they cut it short. They're like, no, we're going out here now, right? Fascinating stuff, I gotta say. And again, like, the whole reason for this this series, yeah, it's something I always want to do because I'm very interested in learning about NASA and the space race and all that jazz. But because it's become so relevant today, in our time, all of this has become so relevant again. Don't know if you guys watched it the other night, the SpaceX rocket launch. They were deploying however 100 of satellites up there. They were testing out the new boosters and all this. Like, it's just fascinating stuff. Gio says, my first year professor of geology was part of a worldwide program to analyse all the samples, which took years. In one lecture, he passed one of the rocks around the class. I think it was holding that piece of the moon in my hand, igniting my career as a geologist. No way. Hey, Yanni, good to see you, buddy. Tell them about the Apollo 11 and entry speed. We'll be getting close to it here now, I'd say, you know. Right, let's have a look. What's with 2024? It won't map controls on my joystick. Really? Just got infected by Houston Control. Ooh, nice. Apollo ended because they completed the mission. Yes, but there's multiple reasons. DeRuiter is here. Good to see you. Derek, welcome in. Sourdough Man, welcome in. And to my friend, all I can read in that is one over on YouTube. Hello. Good to see you, buddy. Right, we're not descending here, Murph. Oh, wait, we are. But I didn't put my altitude down low enough. Right, get down there quick, will you? Jesus, we'll be here till tomorrow. We're going to be out over freaking Galveston now in a second. Easy now. Easy now. Keep her going. It's all terribly interesting, isn't it? Your ESB is acting the Aegis. Oh no. Robert Hall, good to see you, buddy. Good afternoon from Fort Worth. Ooh, yes, we had a lot of thunderstorms on the way out. Why doesn't Britain have launch facilities? For spaceflight, doesn't need them. But it does have rocket-capable launch facilities. It won't map toggle parking brake. It used to, but now it won't. Flaps and trim and thrust. It won't map toggle parking brake. Is it already bound to something else, no? Or is it giving you an error at all, Boston? This is all completely wrong what I'm doing, but sure, listen, we won't worry about it, lads. Wait now, was that someone else's contrails? Oh no, it's smoke. It's smoke, right. UK use a launch site in Australia. Yeah. Like you've launched, ESA has launch sites, European Space Agency. Yeah, we're in pretty much dive mode. Your ears will be popping here like a devil, but she'll be grand, lads. She's grand. This is a beautiful airplane. This is just a beautiful aircraft. Chalks, thank you very much indeed. 50 streams in a row, buddy. I don't get it. Same with mapping outside cockpit view. It maps to a different button. Very strange. Very strange. There's a very handy program, Boston Elf, you can grab from Just Roy. It'll check for any... Well, it won't check. It'll allow you to download your controls. And then what I do, if you download them, just wipe them. You know? Murphy will have to make for the runway like a lawn dart. Oh, lads, this is not my first barbecue. It would be grand. Totally grand. We're actually flying in over Houston. This is terribly nice. And of course, the famous saying, you know, isn't actually very correct. Do I have it in here? I thought it. Oh yeah, this one.
Houston, we have a problem.
What was actually said was, Houston, we had a problem. Houston, we've had a problem. Houston, we had a problem. So that's all Apollo 13 stuff, which we're going to be learning about now in a few minutes. So our plan here, lads, we're going to land the Phenom, then we're taking out a T-38 because, well, NASA operates T-38. They've some 500 of them still flying. And they use them for astronaut training, you see. So we're descending here like a pack of mad Aegis, and we're just kind of circling down as we approach into Houston. Now, I had the absolute privilege to visit Houston, and we went to Space Control, or we went to Johnson Space Center, right? Now, where will I find these pictures? Where will I find these? Where will I find these, lads? I'll probably find them on OneDrive. OneDrive! Right. My files. When did we go to Houston? When was that? 21, was it? The folder is empty. Well, balls. Oh, that was 2022, I'd say. 3 years ago. 25, so, okay. Wait, what? When was that, lads? 23? Houston, 24, yeah, 23, right. Why are these all saying empty? We'll find some. Right, there's some of them. James, I thought I had more pictures than that. But anyway, here's a picture of me, the missus, and young fella inside Mission Control. So there was a huge refurbishment done in 2019, I think. NASA doesn't quite have 500 T-38s. They're more like 30. No, but they had something like 500 over the years, didn't they? The T-38s. I was only reading this the other day. T-38 Talon, NASA. Right now. It was the world's first supersonic trainer. Inventory, no, we know that. There was 1,189 of these built. That's freaking nuts. Operational. NASA. It currently operates a fleet of 32. Right. Where was I reading that? Where did I read friggin' 500 of the second things? So its current fleet is 32 aircraft. Dwindled from around 32 aircraft to 16. Maybe I was looking at something else. Because I know they sold a ton of them. Oh wait, hang on. There was a website I was looking at. They're an elegant aircraft. Yeah. Those old monitors came with ashtrays. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? So yeah, that's one of the pictures. I thought I had more on my phone. I do have more. But just to give you an idea, it was an incredible experience getting to visit that space center. Like, it was absolutely incredible. Let's see here. Do we have more over here? No. Right, we'll find other pictures for sure. Now, so when we think of the original Mission Control Center versus, you know, what they use to this day, where is it now? So you have Flight Capcom, formerly known as the Capsule Communicator, Capcom. Capcom is the person talking with the astronauts. Ethos, VVO, FDO, and FAO. But as I said, these are more modern terms. Load in this one. So this is what it looked like in kind of 2005, right? Maybe that's what it was, Scott. I read that number the other day, so I need to figure out where I'm getting these figures from. That's the exterior of the building, and they do have. I think it's a mock-up of a space shuttle down there. That's the Mercury Control Center down at the Cape. That's mad, isn't it? And then we'll have one. So this is before it was done. Mission Operation Control Room 2, as seen prior to the restoration. So this is it before it got restored, and we got to go to visit here, and it was such an experience. That's after the restoration. Look, isn't that savage? And they go through all the, they go through the moon landing and the mission control stuff, and it is just, it's incredible, absolutely incredible. Unbelievable stuff. This is during the Apollo 13 crisis. Look. Isn't it mad? All the screens are working. Yeah. This is 2006 then. But the same layout exists. That was 2009. This is all the shuttle flights. But the same idea exists. Oh, don't worry. We'll get to Gene. We'll get to Gene. Right, how are we getting on here? We're doing all right. We're just going the wrong way. Well, we're over Houston. And do you know what's a real bugbear of mine? We have photogrammetry for Houston, but it stops short of NASA. Oh, good woman yourself, Mrs. Two-Tone. I couldn't find the shagging things. Ah, brilliant. Right. Mission Control Center. Isn't that? I'd be still outside in the shed. Kelly Price, good to see you. Isn't it mad? Now it's restored and it's made to look exactly as it did. And the American flags, that was the thing they did on every successful mission, I think, or was it every landing? Everyone got an American flag. They used to hand them out. And they were even saying, so you notice the ashtrays and the cigarettes, they used to literally close the doors and you weren't allowed out until a certain part of whatever the mission was completed, right? But anyway, they used to say, like, when they used to open the door then, the plumes of smoke coming out of the room was just shocking. Because they'd be smoking their brains out. This would have been Murph's room about 20 years ago. Yeah, 100%. Isn't it deadly, though? The good old days, right? And then some of the other sites, it was just, it's class. If you ever get the chance to visit Houston, unbelievable. Unbelievable. What an experience. Isn't it class? Flight controls, mail, like, isn't it just absolutely out of this world class, isn't it? Hey, Simon20, good to see you. Can't believe, yeah, a place with so many buttons. I'd be attracted to it, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Two-Tone. So that was our experience when we were there. It was just, it was out of this world. It was absolutely incredible. Do you know? Right, we'll maneuver our way in and we're heading for runway 4. Simon20, good to see it. Doc Nader, yeah, 100%. Do you think they'll ever build another space shuttle? Don't think so. I mean, the idea of the space shuttle, and, you know, sending... Well, to be honest, they will actually. I don't think it'll be the space shuttle as we have it. I think it will be a little bit different because, I mean, their plan is they want to not only land on the moon, but they want to set it up as a colony. They want to live on the moon, so you're going to have vehicles going to and from. You know? 29 degrees in the man cave. The government are too cheap to build another space shuttle. Thanks, Captain Cocktail. Lovely thing to say. Didn't someone make a space shuttle for Microsoft Flight Sim? I'm not sure. Did they make a shuttle? We do have a shuttle carrier, which is very nice. The moon would make a great launch point for places far away. Possibly. You have towers extending 2,000 feet from the ground. Uh-oh. Alright, we're going to fly out over Houston. This is awesome when we're there. Jesus, the heat in Houston was absolutely unbelievable, lads. It was only friggin' roasting. Do you know? Let me see here now. As we fly over Houston, though, it's very nice looking. So we'll play a bit of tunage on our approach. Are we ready? Oh, yeah, heck yeah. Oh, the humidity. It was savage. Hello, Houston. Ain't it pretty? Look at the photogrammetry, man. The fine prawn, put on the kettle. Scan, welcome in. Watch your speed. That looks so good.
High speed. High speed.
Too fast for the flaps.
High speed.
I gotta say, I really enjoyed being in Houston.
High speed.
It was hot as balls, though. I mean, that was hot as balls, right?
Speed.
But yeah. Oh, Just Roy says current pressure over the Netherlands 1,031. Jesus. Your shirt was sopping wet at 7 a.m. Dude, I remember we got out of the car with aircon. Within a second, your sunglasses just completely fogged up. Hey, look, isn't that like, is that the Astrodome? That's the Astrodome, isn't it? WrestleMania 17. Yes. It looks like the Astrodome. I could be wrong. It looks like it. Yeah, we went out to Galveston. Yeah, it was, oh, dude, it was Define Prawn. It was freaking brilliant. We drove out to, the small round one is the Astrodome. Yeah, like 70,000 people went to that WrestleMania. We drove out to Galveston. We drove out to San Antonio. Oh, man, it was an amazing trip. We went out to the Kima Boardwalk. We went out, we did NASA. We got loads of traveling in. It was awesome. Went to the Alamo. I miss Houston. I really liked it now. It was brilliant. The missus and my son, they went into the city one of the days. I was down at Expo, and they went into the local police department headquarters, and they got a tour. They said it was brilliant. But I didn't come to visit Scott yet. No. Later that day, Murphy booked a flight and flew to Texas. Scott, is there room at the inn? I'd get you into fierce trouble, Scott. I mean, you know, I'm terribly naive. Come on, we go to a bar. What's the deal with your man with the pointy hat and those lovely shoes? And why? What do you mean they don't wear Crocs? So Murphy was arrested, you know. All right, so 04 is what we're looking for in Ellington. There's loads of little airports around the shop. You forgot what I did when I live in. You couldn't get me in trouble. Well, true. I'd be safe. One of these days I'll make it to Ireland. Make sure you come on like a Monday or a Wednesday. They're the hottest days. Grand scenery, Mike. It's freaking awesome, man. But then you'll just see the stop of photogrammetry to meh. I mean, come on for the technology that they had and what they accomplished. Oh, Captain Cocktail, like absolutely. Isn't it incredible?
High speed. High speed. High speed. High speed. High speed. High speed.
Easy.
High speed.
A little bit fast for the owl. Oh, Jesus, the owl dampener should be off.
High speed. High speed. High speed. High speed.
There we go. Pointy hat. Yeah. Pro Crocs. Jesus, right. Or did they accomplish it? No, like, I mean... Yeah. Shirkeen's a flat earther. But no, I just think the technology that they had to invent it. Do you know? And like... Oh, man, like... The story is just fascinating. And again, like, you know, on all these Monday night series that we do... There's always a story behind it, as in what people have achieved. When people work with people coming together, like what can be achieved, it's unbelievable. It is absolutely unbelievable when you have people working with people. It's incredible. Right, drop it the gear. Beautiful. And then it's going to be a fierce left-hand turn. Jay, look at the speed dropping out with the drag. Where are the people? It's over there. Right, start turning in. Keep that speed up. Easy. Oh, Paul's is hot in here. Right, easy now. Speed 140, that's absolutely grand for this shortish approach. And then I said, like, the next aircraft, we're going to jump into the T-38s now and just go for a joyride. But I remember, like, the stuff they were doing in the 1960s and, like, what they're doing today, the similarities are shocking. Yes, there's a lot more tech now and there's a lot more capability. It's unreal. Murph, do you find this thing really slippery? I always find myself behind the plane on approach, says Matt. It's all to do with your energy management. This aircraft really does give you that sense of inertia. It gives it a sense of movement, right? And it is a challenge. It is a challenge. I think it's great. Hey, Speedy Pro's ahead of us. Alright, 2,000 feet indicated. Watch our barrow. This is live time and weather, by the way. There's a runway. Murph, I picked up the Opalaka scenery and it's meh. Wait, right. Who made that? Which T-38? I went with the Blackbird one. The other one's quite good as well. I just went with something simple. Autopilot disengaged. Let's fly this one in. Easy now. Speed is good. Oh, this is such a good jet though. It hand flies so well. Was that a freeware one, Roy? Or is it payware? Okay, 7 knots of wind against us. All sorts of jets flying around the place. Easy now. Watch the speed. Descending. Flying into Ellington. Yes. Little high.
High speed.
Easy now. Second notch of flaps. That'll help with the drag. Still high. Watch the speed.
High speed.
Right in the limit. Right, that's better. Is it me or does the yoke look like a deconstructed PS5 controller? Yeah, the Embraer design. Some pilots love them, some, not so much. It's nice to be different, I suppose. Concorde had them. Alright, Pappy lights are in visual range. Watch your speed. It was made by Cat 3 Dual and available flightsim.to for 14. I've never heard of them. Looks like it was designed by a cyclist. Epic Fool is here. Good to see you, bud. Alright, watch your speed coming in. 125 is kind of key. That's where we want to be.
Approaching runway 4. Caution, caution.
We're going to go full flaps. 125 is good.
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty,
jeez.
snoozy, snooze.
Norse Viking, you devil.
400.
Continue. Watch the speed.
300.
Easy now. So far, so good.
200.
Way too soon. Oh yeah, 'twas a rookie mistake. Jesus, we're right in the envelope of the speed. Easy now. That's better.
100.
Easy. Mind that 727. Okay, watch your flare. Easy now, Jemima. 240 will take it. Keep it on the straight and narrow. Straight and narrow. There's diesel. Alright. Flaps in. Welcome to Ellington. We've made it. Well, it kind of needs a double flare, funny enough. With the old Phenom. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's always challenging to try and land this thing, but it's never a dull moment. It's always fun trying to fly this thing. All
No
right.
takeoff. Flaps.
Don't worry, we're not going for takeoff. We just gave it a blast of energy. Ta-da, we made it, right? So we're going to jump into the T-38 next. And this thing can move, right? It's better than the default. Nice, Roy. I'll check it out, buddy. Ground gave you parking at stand 67. Really? Alright. We'll hold station here. And let's start planning our next flight. So we're going to end this flight. I might actually quickly restart the sim, lads. Because that performance was just cack. So exit off that. We're going to close off Windling for the moment. Because I don't think that's connected. Close that. Yeah, it wasn't running. So we should close that, and I've no patience, so I'm just going to hard shut off the gadget. Microsoft Flight Sim, end the task, and then we go back in again. Right. The scenery sure looks very rough for payware. Oh, really? Is it that bad? Jesus. Right, so while we're loading up here, Apollo 13. Apollo 13 launched on the 11th of April, 1970, and was intended to be the third lunar landing. 2 days into the mission, a spark in an oxygen tank caused a catastrophic explosion in the service module. The blast crippled the spacecraft's electrical and life support systems. Commander James Lovell radioed the now famous words, "Houston, we've had a problem," and Mission Control had to improvise a rescue plan in real time. Using the lunar module as a lifeboat, controllers instructed the crew to shut down the command module and conserve power, water, and oxygen. Engineers devised procedures to adapt the LEM's carbon dioxide scrubbers to the command module's round canisters using duct tape, plastic bags, and checklists. Trajectory experts worked out a free return path around the moon, followed by a critical engine burn to put the spacecraft back on the course for Earth. Throughout the crisis, flight director Gene Kranz and his white team coordinated dozens of specialists making decisions under immense time pressure. Apollo 13 splashed down safely on the 17th of April, turning a potential tragedy into a testament of teamwork and ingenuity. Now, Apollo 13. It's fascinating because when things go wrong, you know, the level of training these lads had, not just the astronauts, but the ground crews as well, the whole shebang, right? It was just fascinating. It was a successful failure. I think that's what it was classed as. That's what they said it was, right? So we had Jim Lovell, Jack Swigert, and we also had Fred Hayes. Ken Mattingly, who was supposed to go there, went on a later mission. So there was a photograph taken as seen from the Apollo lunar. So they took that photograph from Aquarius where the entire side of it got blown out. Now, I'm sure everyone here in the chat has watched the movie Apollo 13. One's in chat if you've seen the movie Apollo 13, right? This would be interesting because I imagine you all did, right? Jim Lovell, that's Swigert, and then we have Freddie Hayes. Apollo what? We landed on the moon, right? Many times. Okay, Apollo 13. So you've all seen it. So you know the story of it. What's fascinating is, I think, not only what the astronauts were able to do under that amount of pressure, right? And you know, you learn, the movie touches on a lot of cool stuff. It captures so many things, like simple thing like, you know, space sickness. You know the way people get like air sickness, flying, or travel sickness? Well, space sickness is a thing. It's a real thing, right? And they were Fred Hayes had to battle with that on the way up, right? And you know, as Gene put it, there's an absolutely incredible interview. Do you know what? I'll get you the link of it, because this, I'm telling you, is brilliant, right? If you geek out like me, Gene Kranz interview, C-SPAN. This is a phenomenal interview. Aww. That's how Gene sounds. Aww. Aww. I'm going to share that in the chat with you, lads. That's a link to a YouTube video, right? And it's over... If I had a mouse, whose host? C-SPAN is showing this, so I don't know what sort of trouble I get in for showing off C-SPAN, but we'll have a look here now in a second, right? So here's Gene Kranz.
Mission, we were shoved back in the schedule. But Jim, from our standpoint, was cut from a different piece of cloth than the majority of the astronauts that we had worked with. The previous crews had been literally the steely-eyed missile men, the test pilots that I had known when I was back working with McDonnell. But Jim was, I think, the first astronaut who really made an effort to reach out and work with the controllers. He had established a...
What Jim was that now?
The steely-eyed. Jim, from our standpoint, was cut from a different piece of cloth than the Borman crew took for the Apollo 8 mission. We were shoved back in the schedule.
Was it Jim Lovell?
But Jim, from our standpoint, was cut from a different piece of cloth than the majority of the astronauts that we had worked with.
Right, so it would have been Jim Lovell. Anyway, this interview with Gene, it goes on for just shy of 3 hours. It's exceptionally good. Even you can download it on YouTube or whatever, listen to it as a podcast. It is a fascinating insight. Fascinating, right? I don't have 3 hours to tell you everything that's in it. All I'll say is, if you've any interest in NASA, any interest in any of the Apollo missions, even Apollo 13, this is excellent. It's excellent, right? And you can get it up on YouTube, which is brilliant. Now, the sim has loaded, and we're looking at Apollo 13. So let me go, T-38. Get in there now, Jemima. Yes. And we're at Ellington. And we'll load into Ellington here because we're going to go on a bit of a joyride with this. Now, NASA actually have hangars up here. Isn't that quite mad? He did a really cool interview during Artemis. I didn't see that, but I will. He's still alive. He's in his 90s. There's a really good podcast by the BBC called 13 Minutes. Interesting. Cheers, Bram. Right. Does this work? Right now, I need buttons. We have views? Yes. Alright, okay. Does anyone know how to fly it? Chalk supplied, request hover card. We have the hover card. Flight performance. Fuel. We need all the fuel. Now, in terms of like, don't we have to like behave this? We have to behave with this. So we need to remove the chocks. Here we are. Now, let's see what we need to do. There is a ladder. What a Muppet, Murphy. Control E, yeah. Okay. That's okay. Oxygen on. Radios. Lights. Beacon on. Booster pumps. Fuel gauge. Pitot heat. That's grand. Engine. Ignition. Their fuses. Okay, left, right. Lights. Landing gear. I don't know how to fly this. I'm only joking. I don't know how to fly. Battery! Right. Don't jettison the canopy, whatever you do. Hydraulics, doesn't like them. Where's me hydraulics? I have a pain in me hydraulic. Where is this now? Master caution. Good luck to you. Canopy is open. Have we a baton? It's probably down here. What's that do? Excellent. Found the canopy. Right. Next is going to be starting up this machine. Lights. Temperature. Startup. They're locked? No, they're off. Okay. Right, so we just need something that'll fire these up. Booster pumps. They're already on. Ramp. Or ram dump. Don't need that. Right now. Nothing over here. No. Left fuel pressure. Well, I'll not turn it back on. I can hear the pumps. Right, oxygen is flowing. That's what we wanted. Right. Fuses down here are all in. Right. Left and right. Fuel shut off. They should be already in. And we just press and hold. We just press and hold. Do you think Cork good approach in flight sim? Cork, yeah. RPM coming up. Fuel coming up. Okay, that was fairly straightforward. Engine 1 coming alive. Go to engine 2. Cork can be windy. So hot today, yeah, it's so good though. We like the weather, we like the weather. Engine 2. Fuel. Okay, utility hydraulics doesn't like. So we'll see what happens once it gets sufficient power in. Will that go away? Great sounds. Albeit a little bit low. Good. Warning lights are gone. I imagine we need to be over 50% that we can get rid of the hover cart. Hover cart gone. Oh, heck yeah. Right. Brilliant. Brakes. And we have movement. Super. Right. Now, where are we going? We're going to unload that flight. And we're going to load in our second flight. So this is going to have us fly out over Galveston, and then it's over to Kilo Sierra, Kilo Foxtrot. That is the plan. And keep an eye. Oh, jets and everything. Keep an eye on the fuel. We're on the ground here at Ellington Airport. Kilo Echo Foxtrot Delta. Not Taff, not at all, dude. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Oh. Heck yeah. Right, where am I going? We'll blast off in 17 right for the crack because, you know, for the crack, right? So we'll continue on. So the Apollo 17 mission, or the Apollo 13 mission, you've all seen the movie, so there's not much you're going to learn from it. But effectively, disaster struck. They had to get the lads home. They went into so many new areas. I mean, the technician from Grumman was there. They had no idea that the landing module or the lunar module could do half of the stuff expected from it. And of course, they had the problem with the carbon dioxide scrubbers, where they had to get literally the round cylinder into the square hole. Like, how does that work? So they had to devise a way to do it, and relay that information through Capcom to talk to the astronauts, in which they did it, right? But to manage such an event, to manage Neil Armstrong's descent, to manage other parts of critical missions throughout the years came down to Eugene F. Kranz, or Gene Kranz. He was born in Toledo in Ohio in 1933, right? And we'll learn about Gene here now in a moment. This is the man. He's the man. Man, right, is Gene. The buzz cut Gene Kranz, played by Ed Harris in the movie Apollo 13, right? Cannot exit the aircraft. Oh, don't give me that shite. Haven't we like a button to get in? What does that do? No, that's the jettison. Let's just jump in. Should be grand. Let's not worry about these things. We'll blame someone else, right? He was a key figure in NASA's mission operations, and after serving as a US Air Force fighter pilot, Kranz joined NASA's Space Task Group in 1960 as a flight controller for Project Mercury. He became a flight director during the early Gemini missions, and by the Apollo program, he led the White Team in mission control. Kranz is best known for his steely composure during crisis. His team managed the first lunar landing of Apollo 11 and guided the safe return of Apollo 13. In the latter case, his insistence on discipline, preparation and problem solving inspired the phrase "failure is not an option," which later became the title of his memoir. Kranz served through Skylab and the early space shuttle era, eventually becoming chief of the flight director's office. He retired from NASA in 1994, but continues to be a symbol of effective leadership and mission control excellence. We'll ramble this way. Let's see what happens, lads. Yeah, we're on the Southeast Asian server. Yeah. Flying this thing is going to be a friggin' riot. I can see tons of people flying around already. This is going to be hilarious. That's so cool, just watching planes take off, man. I love that. That never gets old. Now, my abilities to fly this plane, the same abilities to apply sunscreen, as you can see from the big skull that heading me, right? But sure, listen. Let's go flying. Heck yeah. Oh, be Janie, there's a crosswind. Alright, yep, see Daisy.
Runway 17, right, remaining 7,300 feet.
Yep, see Daisy. Oh, great balls of fire. Alright, easy now. So while we're here, I want to fly us out over mission control. So ease up the power there, Murphy. Now, unfortunately, we don't have photogrammetry here, but at the speed down. All right, here we go. So we are now directly over mission control. And it's mad, right? Because they used to launch equipment from Houston in the early days. They actually have launch pads in Houston. We'll pause it, and then we'll use the old drone camera to get a slightly better perspective. How's that for an idea, right? The noise of those jets, man. So here's the main complex, And I don't know what's wrong with my scenery because I think, oh no, she's working now. No, it's not. It's kind of glitched out. I have no idea why it's doing that, right? But this is Mission Control. Or at least that's the museum. Mission Control is actually down the road here. And all this area, see this entire area? See all of this? This is all part of NASA. Like, the site is massive. It's huge, right? Like, you're talking, I don't know how many thousand people were working on the campus here, even to this day. There was a buddy of mine from Cork got a scholarship to NASA, and he was doing working with plants and all this kind of stuff for Mars missions. That was years ago now, but that's what he did, right? So we'll ramble back to this now in a second. So with Gene Kranz, or Kranz, I could be mispronouncing that. He was born in Toledo, Ohio, right? He was the son of German immigrants. He first served as an army medic during the First World War. That was Leo Peter Kranz, right? Kranz was interested in space at a very young age. In high school, he wrote the thesis on the topic of a single-stage rocket to the moon. Right? Big into that. The thesis was titled The Design and Possibilities of the Interplanetary Rocket. Following his high school graduation in 1951, he went to college and graduated Bachelor of Science degree in Aeronautical Engineering from the St. Louis University Parks College of Engineering, Aviation and Technology. In 1954, he received a commission as a second lieutenant for the U.S. Air Force Reserve, completing pilot training at Lackland Air Force Base in Texas in 1955. Shortly after receiving his wings, he married Marta Cadena, a daughter of Mexican immigrants who fled from Mexico during the Revolution. Kranz was sent to South Korea to fly the F-86 Sabre aircraft for patrol operations around the Korean demilitarized zone. After finishing his tour in Korea, he left the Air Force and he went to work for McDonnell Aircraft Corporation, where he assisted with the research and testing of new surface-to-air, SAM, and air-to-ground missiles for the US Air Force. He was discharged from the US Air Force Reserve as a captain. Not until 1972. Phenom, welcome in, buddy. After completing research tests at Holloman Air Force Base, Kranz left McDonnell Aircraft and joined NASA Space Task Group, then at its Langley Research Center in Virginia. Upon joining NASA, he was assigned by Flight Director Christopher C. Kraft as Mission Control Procedures Officer for the uncrewed Mercury Redstone test. And then it goes on and on from there. He's best known for his role as the lead flight director, nicknamed White Flight, during NASA's Apollo 13. His white team, dubbed the Tiger Team by the press, set the constraints of the consumption of spacecraft consumables, oxygen, electricity, and water. He continued on as flight director through Apollo 15 and 17, when he worked his last shift as a flight director, overseeing the mission liftoff. He was then promoted to Deputy Director of NASA Mission Operations in 1974, and he became Director in 1983. He was in Mission Control during the January 28, 1986 loss of Space Shuttle Challenger on the STS-51L launch, and he retired from NASA in 1994. He's published his autobiography, titled Failure is Not an Option, borrowing a line used in the Apollo movie from Ed Harris. Then it goes on to the movie. He had 6 kids, or he has 6 kids. Lessons from My Father, Kranz's youngest daughter, Jeannie, mentioned that her dad was a very engaged father and likened him to the character of Ward Cleaver in the television show Leave It to Beaver. Failure is not an option. So we've got a couple of more pictures here. That link that I sent you, lads, with that C-SPAN interview, it's fascinating, right? In any walk of life, be it you're in a position that you're part of a team and you have a team leader, perhaps you're the team leader, this guy will give you such incredible insight into what's possible when things are done right. Proper leadership, proper mentoring. It's very, very interesting. So that's Gene Kranz. Exceptionally interesting guy. And his book, the Mrs. read his book, she said it's excellent. It's an excellent book, right? So, where are we going to next? Yeah, so a quick recap on the other missions, of course, and this is all here at Mission Control. Apollo 12, and as I said, it nearly had a disastrous start because lightning hit it, but they fixed it. Apollo 14, that was Alan Shepard and Edgar Mitchell explored the Phenom formation. That's when Shepard famously hit golf balls on the moon, right? Apollo 15, the first of the J-series missions with a longer stay and also the first lunar roving vehicle. David Scott, James Irwin drove more than 27 kilometers collecting rich geological samples. Apollo 16 explored the Descartes Highlands. John Young and Charles Duke used the rover to study volcanic and highland materials. And then 1972, December, Apollo 17 was the last crewed lunar mission. It included Harrison Schmitt, the only professional geologist to walk on the moon, and Eugene Cernan, who left the last footprints of the Apollo era. The mission delivered a trove of scientific data on lunar geology, magnetism, and seismic activity. After Apollo 17, planned missions 18 to 20 were scrubbed, cancelled, due to budget cuts and declining public interest. The remaining Saturn V hardware was used for Skylab space station, and also in 1975 a US-Soviet, the Apollo-Soyuz test project, marking a shift from lunar exploration to orbital research. Now that is a fascinating story. The US and Soviet Apollo Soyuz test. That is fascinating. Considering this is 1975. And relations, of course, as you could have imagined, with the space race, with the Americans beating the Soviets, you know, a couple of years before that. And here's the artists, here's the US and then the Soviet Union. Fascinating stuff, right? So the information goes in to say, well, look, how did this all come to pass? Because at the time, I mean, the Russians were still quite advanced. I mean, Mir space station, this kind of stuff, incredible. This is an incredible story, and why or how more hasn't been made of it, I'll never know. It was during it was the freaking Cold War and all this, right? It became an emblem during the Cold War, do you know? But there's an amazing photograph here of astronauts and cosmonauts. Deke Slayton, of course, and just in the 70s for something like this to happen, absolutely insane, right? And it was somewhat a roaring success. There was a bit of drama. Someone they weren't well. They got intoxicated coming back down. Nixon and Kosygin signing the stuff. Like at the time, this was just nuts. I mean, you're talking like the height of the Cold War. Do you know? Slayton, Brand, and Stafford, the three boys. Lenov and Kubasov. I mean, could you imagine at the time? Wouldn't this have been such an amazing time? Like, just wouldn't have been fascinating.
This special aeronautics and space report brought to you by NASA.
We'll have a look at this, lads.
If all goes as planned, the next time these men meet and shake hands like this, they'll be 140 miles above the Earth.
How are you, Alexei? What's your bus?
Glad to see you. How's your family? Oh.
ASTP, Apollo-Soyuz Test Project. Now in its third year of preparation, all is nearly ready for this first link-up in space with the Soviet Union. Each country will launch and fly its own spacecraft, but share a common docking module that will allow astronauts and cosmonauts to pass to and from each other's spaceship.
I was born in Siberia in 1934, on May 30.
Commander of the Soviet ASTP crew is Alexei Leonov.
Worker, and my mother was a teacher.
With him, 40-year-old flight engineer Valery Kupasov. Both cosmonauts have made previous space flights for the Soviet Union. The two of them will be piloting the Soyuz spacecraft. Astronaut Donald Deke Slayton, 51, from Sparta, Wisconsin, is one of the three American crewmen and will serve as the docking module pilot. Slayton talked about the mission objectives.
The first one is a technical one, and that's to demonstrate a capability to do rescue on an international scale. We haven't had that capability in this country to do it on our own, and of course the Russians haven't either. Over and above that, I think probably one of the biggest benefits, and probably even more so than the first one, is this ability to get together with another country that we haven't been too cooperative with in a lot of areas and do something constructive jointly. And I think this is probably, the benefits of this will be much greater in many other areas than in the space area itself. Just getting technical people together and teaching them how to work together and converse together.
A key element in the mission is
isn't it absolutely fascinating? Did you even know about that? Were you aware of that? Because I was reading into this, I remember hearing something about Apollo Soyuz. But then when you see what the mission was all about and what they succeeded in, great picture here of Deke and Lenov. Brilliant, isn't it? At a time, lads, where this just wouldn't happen. Do you know what I mean? And then they had this. They assembled this commemorative plaque up there. They put it all together. Yeah, Deke Slayton, very interesting. Malky, very interesting fella. But yeah, very interesting stuff. Lived it growing up. It was a great time to be a space aviation nerd. Absolutely. Hey, Cornwolf is here. Good to see you, bud. There's a painting of it. And then there was all different memorabilia, stamps and all this kind of stuff. There's a model of one sitting in near Moscow. Right? And then there's stuff in the National Airspace Museum in Washington, D.C. Look. Isn't this fascinating stuff? Fascinating, Captain. But yeah, I thought that was absolutely class. So these are the missions that kind of followed on from Apollo. And whilst we have so many differences between the different missions, right? I mean, when it comes to Apollo, then from Apollo went into Apollo Soyuz, then it went into pretty much the space shuttle then, right? That was the next project, and we're going to be learning all about the space shuttle next week, right? We're going to be flying the shuttle carrier, and Houston was always the home of this, though. When it came to the organization and all of the capability from communications, telemetry, all of that, it's still housed here in Houston. And then when you learn about Houston, which again is shockingly interesting, they also have contingencies. What would happen if bad weather or a disaster or whatever took Houston out of the equation, as in the operations center? And they actually had backup facilities, a couple of places in the United States that could also handle all of that data. And there was training missions that they did and simulations that they ran to say, right, we can't use mission control in Houston, we'll move it out somewhere else. One of them was out at Redstone, back where we visited a couple of weeks back. They used that area out there. So, yeah. I saw Skylab on the pad, then the launch, says Kozaki. And then he gave out to me for not reading it. Sorry, Kozaki! Jesus. So we're out here by, I think this is out by the Kima Boardwalk. I think, neck of the woods. But we're going to head down toward Galveston. And from Galveston then we're going to hang a right and it's out to San Antonio. So we're going to go like the clappers here now. In these very fast jets. What makes these aircraft interesting, these were flown by astronauts. Pilot training was done with the T-38s. Amongst other things. They were supersonic. As you'll see. They can absolutely haul. And as I said, we're going to overfly Galveston and then we're going to turn right and we're heading towards San Antonio. There's an upside down Mrs. GPHI. Easy now. Get a bit of trim. And then you went to the discotheque. The two crew of Gemini 9 died in a T-38 crash. Jesus. Really? Gemini 9? Wait, that's right. That is right. Yes. They hit a hangar or something, didn't they? Had one of those folks come blazing into the field trying to get us before we closed. Really? Royal Canadian Air Force pilots now train on US Air Force's T-38s. Ooh, nice. This is a beautiful part of the world. Galveston is gorgeous. And we do have photogrammetry out here, which is nice as we break the sound barrier. Massive port down here. Remember that we drive in over the bridge, hung a left. Massive harbour and port. And the amount of vessels you have out at the sea here was unbelievable. The amount of tankers. Hit a building, Lockheed Martin. Jesus. He's in the bush, good to see you. So we're almost at Mach 1. We're just kind of hiding below it. As we fly out around Galveston. Galveston was beautiful. Camera's a little bit weird on this machine, but sure, look it. Hang a right. Oh dear. Oh Jesus, I need to turn that off. That does not suit my style of flying at all. Where's my G-suit, for God's sake? Hup. Is that right? I mean, that rate of roll doesn't seem right, does it? Ah, Muse fan is back. His power's back. Brilliant. Can you start to stream again? Be honest, Muse fan, you were walking around the field with your shirt off because it's such lovely weather. Be honest now. Might be a bit slow. Really? Jesus. Right, we're heading out this way. At speed. Can you keep up? Yes, you're doing a fairly good job of it, all right. Hey, Colonel Fork is with us. Jersey Devil, looking good. All right. That thing is fierce fast in the roll. That's incredible, isn't it? So the Apollo program succeeded in achieving its primary goal, but was unsustainably expensive. Each Saturn V launch costs hundreds of millions of dollars, and that's in 1970s currency. And NASA's budget had peaked at over 4% of the federal budget during the mid-1960s. And of course, as the Vietnam War and Great Society programs strained national finances, political support for costly moon missions waned. By the early 1970s, many Americans viewed further landings as routine. The dramatic successes of Apollo 8 and Apollo 11 already fulfilled the national prestige objectives. Later missions drew less television coverage and fewer headlines. Congress and the Nixon administration therefore cut funding for post-Apollo missions. NASA redirected its focus to Earth orbiting projects such as Skylab, the Space Shuttle, and then later the International Space Station. The program's end didn't diminish the legacy, however. It demonstrated what coordinated engineering, scientific curiosity, and political will could achieve. But it did underscore that such monumental efforts require sustained public and political commitment. So Mission Control Houston, it sits at the absolute heart of this entire series. The centre grew from modest beginnings at Cape Canaveral, where the Mercury Control Centre oversaw America's first crewed flights. And as missions became more complex, the facility moved to Houston, becoming the nerve centre for Gemini and Apollo. From there, teams led by visionaries such as Gene Kranz guided astronauts through triumphs and near disasters, culminating in a lunar legacy that ended not through technical failure, but shifting priorities. It's very, very interesting stuff, I gotta say. And to have the chance to actually go there, visit there, it was incredible. Do you know, Deke Slayton was the only Mercury astronaut who didn't fly during that program because of health issues. He was also on Capcom, yeah. Farmer down the road drove into electricity pole. Ah, Jesus. Thank you, Hayden. You're very kind, sir. Short wings, fast roll, Aaron. 100%. Right. I haven't engaged the afterburner, so we should be just kind of hovering just under Mach 1. Although she's trying ever so slightly to break that barrier, look. It's doing its best. Jersey Devil, whoosh, no bother in an F-14, look. Jesus. Fuel is going to be a devil to watch on this. But yeah, Murph, look up the 1966 NASA T-38 crash. Elliot C. and Charles Bassett. That's them there, look. Tragedy struck the NASA community in February 28, 1966. Gemini Prime crew members Elliot MC and Charles A. Bassett were flying a T-38 Talon aircraft from Houston to St. Louis to attend a rendezvous simulation at the McDonnell Aircraft Corporation plant, the manufacturer of Gemini spacecraft. While attempting an instrument landing at Lambert International Airport in marginal weather, the aircraft struck the roof of a McDonnell building before dropping into an outside storage area. Ah, Jesus. Eugene Cernan. He was the last man to walk on the moon. Papa Justify, good evening. I think you should be a lot lower, Murph. Do you reckon? Why the devil not, Mrs. TPHI? Why the devil not? How low can we go? Jesus, what's all this we're to find and look? What's on the ground here? That's interesting. Oh, it's a wind farm. Fair enough. Don't pass out, Murphy. Don't pass out, Murphy. Keep it together. Keep it together. Oh, Jesus. Right, we're low now. What did I do? Right. Easy now. Don't hit the thing with the yoke. Jeez, we're at Mach 1. How fast is this? Pretty fast. Pretty fast. It's kind of misty as well. Worse than that, they should have been doing an instrument approach, but they tried a visual circle to land. Oh, no way. Oh, man, what a way to go. As I said, there's a fantastic TV show from HBO. Tom Hanks narrates it, and it's called From the Earth to the Moon. I think it was a 10-part or a 12-part. Yeah, just no. Well, we're not doing Mach 1, I suppose. That's what's wrong. We'll try it now. There's a boom of Sonic. Yes. Air to the Moon is one of my favourite series. You watch it at least once a year. Oh, nice. Houston, we're having a shagging problem. That's how fast the L fuel jumps out of this thing. The boom is back. That never gets old. Never, ever, ever gets old. Downrange. Sonic boom. So next week is all about the shuttle, the space shuttle. We'll learn about their missions, the good, the bad, the whole shebang. And then the week after is our final episode of this Monday night series, part 7. And it's going to focus on Artemis. That is the plan. Yeah, Mach 1.3. I mean, we'll take it. Mad. Nothing on Skylab. Aaron will do a bit of Skylab as well. We'll do a bit on Skylab as well. Because like with Skylab, well, Skylab and then the space shuttle. I mean, the idea was get Skylab up there and then resupply with the space shuttle. You know? Your boy was on that? Wait, what? The space shuttle's from 2020 ports to 2024. Was it? Scott, when you say he was on that, as in on the team? Skylab was the US's first space station. It was launched by NASA, occupied for about 24 weeks between May 1973 and February 1974. Operated by 3 trios of astronaut crews, Skylab 2, Skylab 3 and Skylab 4. Oh, an astronaut that you knew. It's what I have in my office that you've seen pictures of. Colonel Jack Lousma, or is it Lousma? Or Lousma? Jesus. Scott, that's amazing. Yeah, we'll cover Skylab. Because we have to cover Mir as well. Because, like, the missions of the space station, or sorry, the missions of the space shuttle, you know. He was Capcom for the famous Apollo 13. Lousman, what? Really? Jesus. Lads, you've been holding back. Jesus, you have a ton of more information. We can just, like, talk about it and I could have sat here. News fan, you're a legend. That guy. Catus Batus. Right. We're nearly there. And at some stage, we're going to have to try friggin' Kerbal Space Program. At some stage, you know. 29 degrees still. It's absolutely roasting in here. I may break out the old aircon tomorrow, methinks. How's our fuel looking? 60%. Top it up there now, and we've enough to stay going. There we go. There we go. I streamed Real Solar System Kerbal for nearly a year. Really? Hey, Dan is here. Good to see you. Dude, thank you very much. Great to see you. Crazy temperatures in Dublin. Yeah, I think it's like... Well, it says it's like 17 degrees here in Tipperary now. But yeah. Photo in the bar, says Scott. Oh, yeah. Ah, that's brilliant. Cheers, Scott. Here's hoping the world will always look as good to you as it looked to me when this photo was taken. Second spacewalk, 1973. Ah, Scott, that's incredible. Best wishes. Ah, dude, that's brilliant, man. That's awesome. Yara, I don't have anything fancy like that. 32 in your flight sim man cave. Jesus. The other was a bit of a spacesuit. That's incredible. That's awesome, Scott. Did my first Apollo to the moon missions with the Saturn IV. Ooh. Yeah, that's so awesome, Scott. Man alive, that's just class. And that's part of the spacesuit then, this bit. Wow. Man, what a great picture to have. Jesus. That's incredible. I helped rescue him from a pilot not reading NOTAMs. Yeah. Not jealous? Nope, not at all. That's amazing, isn't it? That's so funny, Scott. So were you controlling somewhere? That's mad, isn't it? Jesus. You've had a blessed life. Scott. Like, when's the book coming out? Books. James, for someone that had a lovely life, you sure like giving me terrible grief, don't you? I suppose it's a bit of an honour taking grief from you. Anyone else I would have told to shag off. Well, I told you to shag off. Yeah, I've told you to shag off many times. There's Frank. And Frank. Yes. Speedy Pro. Yes. This is a cool machine. Why we haven't flown this in ages, I don't know. But it's very nice. And sort of be Janey then kind of kick ass, isn't it? News fan, no electricity this evening. I've now no internet. This morning me phone signal dropped for 2 hours. I'm going home. Oh wait, I am. In the Navy at Point McHugh, he was trying to get into Vandenberg. Problem, it was closed. Ooh. Do you remember Muse fan did a cover to this? Colonel Fork, I agree. It's all right. But yeah, the aerodynamics one is quite good. Captain Cocktail. There's Chuck. There was Chuck. There's Chuck. Welcome to San Antonio, which of course means a whale's. So, the Alamo, it's up this neck of the woods here, I think. I cringe every time I watch that cover. It's riddled with mistakes. That's because you're a perfectionist, you know. Came up in a shared VHF frequency as he was trying everything to get in touch with Vandenberg. Chatted with him and asked, well, where are you? I told him and said that we're closing in 15 minutes. He looked at his chart and said, I can be there in 10 minutes. He lit up the T-38 and he got there. No way. Or if I meant to ask, were you down in my parish over the weekend? No, I was out in Clare direction, Kane. On Sunday. Now imagine flying a NASA T-38 and suddenly a Blackbird pulls up on you. You're in a Blackbird. He's out there somewhere. Different person. Really? Kane, did you honestly get me mistaken? No, happened to you once in the sim. No way, did it? Right, the Alamo. Where be this now? Easy now. Oh, Jesus. I need to disable that G-suit thingy. Easy now. Hit the brakes. Yeah, that's it out, Murphy. He must have been a good-looking fella, though, Keen, to think he was me. Do you know? The Alamo is pretty much right in the centre, isn't it? Hang on. Wrong button. Right now. Wait. No comment. Hang on there now, hey. I was in San Antonio, so I know where places are. Right. Hang on. Get me bearings. We drove right into the town. Oh, I think it's down here. I think I found it. Already. I think. Wait now. Wait now. It's in here somewhere. You can't be that far from it. It's on a big square. Is that it there? No? Because there are trees around it. No, that's not it. No, it's in a built-up area. And Jays, I'll never forget the heat. The heat. That was it. Was it? Is that it there? Doesn't look like it. Finally got to Mugu and everything was closed. Didn't have a clue on how to get on to Santa Barbara. Wanted to know if there were any rental cars. Nope, none. Is there a bus? No. As he was on approach, told him we had found him a ride. And as he was taxiing in, so told me to go home early. Ran downstairs and met him at the squadron ramp. Even the terminal building was closed. You drove him to Santa Barbara? What? That's incredible, Scott. Jesus. That's it there, look. Is it? Doesn't seem right. I don't remember the car parking being right beside it. Hang on. Google intensifies. We need to find this. Over here, look. Maps. The Alamo. Not the Alamo restaurant. Give me the... No, the Alamo. San Antonio. The Alamo restaurant in Enniscorthy. For crying out loud. Oh, wait, hang on. Yeah, I'm in completely the wrong spot. Am I? Hang on. A bit of science now, lads. Bit of science. I'm up here now for a minute and we look at... Now. Jersey Devil is near it. So if there's the mad bit of a road up there. Hang on now. Hang on now. Where's the football field in relation to this? There's the football field. Due south. That's not it. We're close. We're very close. Hang on. Hang on. Hold. Oh, right. There it is. That's got to be it. That is it. That there, friends, is the Alamo. Yes! There's the Alamo. That's deadly, isn't it? Had him in the car for an hour talking space. It was glorious. Carried his luggage to the house of the folks he was visiting. Then the lady of the house saw me and said, "Oh, you aren't going anywhere. We're just getting ready to sit down for dinner. You, sir, are going to join us." Spent the night there listening to stories from everyone. Homeowner was a professor that he knew at UC Santa Barbara. What a night it was. Scott, that's just incredible. When was that? When was that? The 70s or the 80s? Scott, that's incredible, man. What a story. Jesus, Scott, you've done savage things. There's the Alamo. We found the Alamo. This is great. I'm telling you. I should get a job with, like, the US Office of Tourism. It was in the 1970s. That's crazy. Right. Our full stop landing coming in. Get speed down. I've done many things. Yes, you have. I mean, could you imagine that? That's awesome, man. All right, circle around. Easy now, Jemima. I hope these land well. Easy. 2 weeks later, I received a huge package in the mail from him with photos and all sorts. He was very thankful for the ride. That's awesome. It lands fast, Colonel Fork. Right. In you go, you big Jesse. We're pulling some savage G's here now, lads. Oh, Jesus, don't black out. Right. In you go, Jemima. What sort of speed are we talking? Best I got was meeting and making tea for the guy that plays Ken Barlow in Coronation Street. Jesus.
Approaching runway 34.
Easy
Caution.
now.
Caution.
Easy. Do we have parachutes in this? Jesus, mind the landing, will you? Out idle. Hold. Oof. 278, we'll have to take it. We're down anyway. If the Irish was first to the moon, did we have... Wait, if the Irish were first to the moon, what did we have here? Put the pub. All of it. Circum's a lot. No, I think we did all right. We didn't, you know, it wasn't terribly bad. Great looking machine though, isn't it? It's a little bit basic, but like, well, I say it's basic. It's nice because, I mean, you do have that ground starting unit. The sounds could be like so much better. They're too quiet or something. Like, I imagine these are shocking loud. Nice afterburn effects. Which is pretty, isn't it? Great machine. So tomorrow night, doing a bit of driving tomorrow night, lads. Or at least that's the plan. Because Illinois just got released for American Truck Sim, so we're going to do a bit of a convoy drive starting Route 66. So that's our mission for tomorrow evening. Wednesday's a busy one. We're joining Microsoft Flight Sim Official on their Twitch channel at 1700 Zulu. Mo's are going to be with them, showing off some hardware and settings and putting ourselves into a number of different scenarios. Then we follow on with our own Flight Sim news for the week. Thursday, we have a double header. We're going to be flying the Starship on Thursday morning, and then we have a Vatson flight Thursday night. And then Friday night is going to be mad. We're doing a virtual fly-in for Flight Sim Expo, and that's going to be 2 aircraft. We're going to fly down from the north, general aviation, then we'll do a heli tour over St. Paul, do a recce. Then when we're finished that flight, we're going to play some Forza Horizon 6. We'll give that a blast on Friday night. So if anyone who has Forza Horizon 6, I haven't even picked it up yet, so I need to get educated on it. But that's what we're doing then on Friday, as Captain Cocktail comes in at speed. Nice. So I'm looking forward to that one immensely. But guys, again, thank you so very much indeed for joining me tonight. Anything to do with NASA and the space stuff, the more you learn it, the more fascinating it is, and the stories. And as I said, that Gene Kranz interview, or Kranz, it's magic. It really, really is. Highly recommend you check it out. And as I say, keep it on the keep it on the background even, you know. There's a bit you have to get through with Forza before you can play multiplayer. Oh, really? Oh, balls. How long are you talking, Gibbo? Is there like an hour or so in it? Yeah, I need to check that, so I'll look into it and I'll see what the crack is. As I said, I haven't even installed it yet. Do you know? Crafty Tigers, thank you very much indeed. Eamon, thank you very much indeed. Vacuum, you take care. Oh, there's about a half an hour worth of stuff. Oh, Jesus. Right. I'll plan that in maybe so on Friday. We'll see how it goes. Right, lads, I'm turning off all my equipment. It's terribly hot in here. Intro and welcome stuff, about 20 to 30 minutes. Roger. Okay. Thanks, Gibbo. Cheers, man. Lads, as always, thank you so very much indeed for tuning in and keeping me company. Hope you enjoyed tonight's flight. Next week, as I said, it's the shuttle carrier. That's what we're flying. And yeah, we're back to you then tomorrow evening for a bit of trucking. So, until then, thank you so much for watching. Mind the sun. Stay out of the heat. Plenty of sun cream. And take a fierce handy. See you later. Time to turn. And we'll start advancing that mixture back in here now shortly. Come on, prop.
Sink rate.
You're alright.
Sink rate.
Yeah.
Up. Sink rate.
Give us a bit of air in the nose there. Nearly. Nearly. Come on, Betsy, you can do it. We need the wind. Oh, bother. We need more speed. This isn't dangerous at all. 110, 120. Mixture in. The mixture's in. Come on. She doesn't want to play. She nearly got there. Hang on now. Easy. There she goes. Jesus. If it didn't kick off, lads, I would have died immediately.
Do you need a hand?
Do I need a hand?
It's heavy, yeah. Jesus, Murph!
She looks like your man. Oh no, it's a him. Oh Jesus. It looked like your one, Katie Taylor. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a great fight and then I boxed the head off him.